everybody, bloody good. How is everybody doing on this fantastic Sunday, everybody? I am live late. My apologies, but we're live much earlier than we're normally supposed to be live because I have shit I have to do later, but I wanted to stream today. So we're running a short-ass React stream, chat. I'm not missing a damn day. Dub. Anyways, yeah, today's going to be like probably a 3-hour stream. We're going to be just doing reacts today as we would on a regular Sunday, but it's going to be a bit shorter, obviously a bit earlier. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing Slime Rancher we're going to go live at 2. We're going to be doing a bunch of random games. We're going to be playing Slime Rancher for like 2 hours. I don't know if it'll be at the start or the end of the stream. We're going to be playing Nightclub Sim, maybe other random games as well. Probably going to be doing some Roblox tomorrow, too. Tuesday, we're going to be live at noon doing a bunch of sim games, random games, kind of games all over the fucking genre category, really whatever chat wants. But then we will be doing Chris's Hot Tub stream later that night. That's why I'm going live early on Tuesday. Wednesday, we're doing horror games. Thursday is going to be a early react day because Friday, I have a slap fight commentary where I will be missing streams. Saturday, I'm going to be back doing Storytime Gaming Reacts. And then next Sunday, I'll be live early as well at like 10 a.m. because I have shit later that day. But we're going to be streaming a bunch the next coming weeks. Mafia drops as well August 8th. We're playing it the 13th and the 14th. Going to beat it. What is it? Mafia Old Country. We're going to play it in 2 days. It's probably going to be like a 14-hour game. XMAF for the sub. Dams, thank you for the 3. You're my favorite streamer, YouTuber. I've been watching since TikTok. Thank you. Cameron, thank you for the 3. What's the next Grounded 2 stream? It was originally going to be Monday, but we want to figure a day where all 4 of us will be able to play it. And I can't later that week because of the slap fight, and Zeusy and I think Chris can't on Monday. So, Doctor and Dunny for the sub. Big thank you for the 1,000 buddies. So what time do you work out? What do you mean? Laura for the sub. Californication, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Thank them if you got a sub. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Kenny and Fatboy for the sub. Laura and some dude for the sub. Depends on the day. I don't really know. Low Chief at Polar C Brody for the sub. Colt Matthew. Small burnt out Ellie Dish Bolts, Azza Cameron, and Robbie for the sub. Some dude for the sub. Hold the fuck up. I gotta look at my desk. I feel like my desk looks like it's gonna collapse. I'm gonna rotate this. Oh, that won't move. Okay. Maybe it's always been like that. Who knows? Anyways, run down to the videos. Howl for the sub. My whole setup just falls. FW for the sub. Spag, thank you for the 3. How do I get better at Clash of Clans? I'm stuck in Town Hall level 9, but I hate attacking because I suck at it. Are you an archer spammer? Town Hall 9? Town Hall 9, you can't attack? Bro, just look up attack strategies. Upgrade your walls? No, if they're saying they can't fucking progress, it's because you don't attack. The entire premise of Clash of Clans is attacking to get better shit. If you don't attack, you can't get better shit. If you suck at attacking, you need to not suck at attacking. I beg you, don't go down the E-drag wormhole, okay? It is very easy in Clash of Clans to become someone that only spams E-drags. It is the lowest IQ gameplay you could ever have. I don't even know. When do you unlock E-drags, Chad? Is it 11 or 10? You don't have E-drags at Town Hall 9. Town Hall 9, do you have a king? I would say you just got to look up attack strategies, bro. I feel like at your Town Hall, you could probably just run like Wall Breaker, Giant, Valk, whatever the fuck you have. Dude, and hey, man, I don't want to be that guy. You live in the golden era of Clash of Clans. I lived in the Black Plague, okay? Anybody remember when troops had training time and you had to pay for them? Now, troops are free. They get trained instantly. I used to have to spend 2,000 elixir for a golem and wait an hour for it to fucking train. Those were the days when you would boost your barracks and just fucking archer farm resources. That was the shit. I used to sit there for like fucking 10 hours. It's too easy now. You could just grind up. No problem. You could attack 100 times nonstop in an hour. You were lucky if you would get 10 attacks in an hour back in the day. Somebody said 2015. Not even 2015, 2 years ago. 2023, you had to train your troops. That was that's how it was. Hold up. Jusha and X2 for the sub. Estonia for the 3. Come to Estonia. Glaze for the sub. Last for the 3. It's my birthday today. Happy birthday, bro. R-Wing for the 3. Glaze for the sub. Goober, thank you for the 3. Soul, thank you for the 10. Gifted Gad for the 3. I'm going to say love for the sub. Been watching you for a while. Or for so long, you think for yourself stuff has really affected me. I'm only 15, got a lot to learn, but I absolutely love you. Thank you. PN, thank you for the 3. Most people who cheer bits, I don't have a story like most people who want to cheer bits. You don't need to have a story. You can say whatever the fuck you want. I could watch for 5 hours and not get bored. Also, Evo Firecracker. Chat, should I get back into Clash Royale? So many people have been grinding it now. I think Jinxie has like a clinch on reviving games. Not that Clash Royale was ever dead, but I think it's a lot more mainstream than it used to be. Josh Not in Canada for the sub. Opiates for the sub. Dead for the 3 says no lag today. Yeah, we're streaming 1080p. Or not 1080p. We're streaming 1440p, but I'm not streaming Twitch's beta 1440p. Hal and FW for the sub. The beta was me. I had to, when the beta dropped, I was rendering 1440, 1080, 720, 480 for Twitch. Now I just render 1440 and they downscale to 720. Make sure you have me on 1440p, by the way, chat. FW for the sub. Spongebob for the 3. How do I get better? I already read that. Sub for the sub. Bio over the 1,000 buddies. Saw you at the Cherry Hill Mall. I have not been to the Cherry Hill Mall in 4 years. I don't want to be that guy. It's probably another white dude. It's probably another white guy. I would let you know if I have not been to the Cherry Hill Mall in 4 years. It's been a while. Another white guy. Unless you're saying you saw me like 4 years ago. I wanted to say what's up, realize quick. It wasn't you. Oh. Weirdest conversation of my life. You walked up to the guy? No. You walked up to the guy and said, yo, Joe Bart, and he went, who the fuck is that? No, that's actually crazy. He looked that much like me that you walked up to him. Matthew for the 3. Time for the 2 gifteds. Logan and Pony for the sub. Mike, thank you for the 10. It's my birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday. Octo for the sub. Aiden for the 3. Started college and watched it all high school. You helped me so much. Thank you. Last for the 3. Tetra MS for the sub. Noah, thank you for the 5,500 biddies. Done with the goddamn chat. Thank you for the fucking biddies, Noah. Thank you for everything. I used to be suicidal and struggle a little still. You've helped me so much, and I'm getting into philosophy now and have a girlfriend, all thanks to you. Well, dude, you know, thank yourself for that. Congrats on getting a girlfriend, and I hope that you're doing better. I'm glad that you're in a better mental space than you were previously, man. Suicide's never the answer. Thank you for the fucking biddies. Xavier for the sub. Soul for the 1,000 biddies. Glad to see you stream, guy. I know you would say you would play GTA 6 or 5 closer to 6 release. Do you have a date yet? No, it'd be 2026. I don't want to say you don't need to know, but it wouldn't even be till next year. Jacob for the 4. It would be like right before GTA 6. Jacob for the 4. Got me into PC gaming. I can't thank you more. Thank you. Slash for the 3. Some Tetra and Mesula for the sub. All right, chat. 3-hour stream, but I want to get through as many videos as possible. These are the selections. The hardest and worst paid jobs in the world. The downfall of modern Spongebob characters. The most painful motorcycle deaths. Your favorite YouTube channel is probably owned by private equity. And my chat will hate this video. I'll love this. We're watching this video today. In fact, I'll drag it up. And then let's kill you a billion times to make you immortal. All right. Anyways, call for the 3. Love the streams. Wondering how many calories you eat a day. I don't really know. I don't track my calories anymore. If you wanted me to guess, probably like 2,800 to like 3,500. Depends on the day. Some days more, some days less. TB, thank you for the sub. All right, chat. First video. The hardest and worst paid jobs in the world. I think this is dubbed, but YouTube has a pretty good dubbing system now. And we watched, I think this is Arya. Yeah, we watched Araya. I think we've watched this guy before.
Most dangerous and lowest paid jobs in some of the hardest, most dangerous, and lowest paid jobs in the world are found in Dhaka, the most densely populated city on the planet. where there is
What is the other area? Isn't it Dubai has like one of the worst working conditions, even though it's one of the most rich cities? Because they have like no. I was watching a video about this the other day. Dubai gives like no tax exemption. Like they give tax exemptions like to the fullest extent in certain areas. So that's why Dubai's so rich. Most people think it's because of oil. Dubai's not rich because of oil. It's because they just build a bunch of nice shit and then convince rich people to move their own personal property and businesses there because then they can function without tax implications. So Dubai is just like a haven for rich people to make even more money because they don't pay anything. They just fucking make money. So they prop up the city. Like even gold. Like I think it's like one third of gold like flows through Dubai.
so many people that hiring a man for a day is common. It's cheaper than buying a 6-pack of beer.
Oh, hiring a man for a day is common. Is that still used in the United States? Like there's handymen that you can hire, but are there people that are just like waiting for work every day? I feel like that's much less common today.
It's cheaper
Like people just post it up being like, I'll do any job for the day.
than buying a 6-pack of beer. These workers are paid approximately $7 per day. They work
That is fucking horrible.
8 to 10 hours a day. Some
So they're getting less than $1 an hour. How do you live? I don't understand how you live on that. I understand that in, Dhaka or Bangladesh and other countries in general, Dhaka is the city in Bangladesh, but I understand how in their countries the cost of living is lower, but it's definitely not that low to where it's $7 a day. Like even if you're buying the cheapest food, you have the cheapest place, like $7.
even work up to 18 hours a day.
1440p isn't available in my region. Yeah, Nuke, I was gonna swap it over today, but Brady's asleep. And I suck at tech shit. So today's also a short stream. Tomorrow I'll be back at regular 1080p until they fix the issues. Alec and Aline for the sub, Bio, K-Malt, and Cam for the sub, TV for the sub. But today it's in 1440. I'm sorry. You can still watch me in 720. Fire for the sub, Mister for the 3. Best advice for somebody starting college, life feels like it's flying too fast. It's only going to get faster, man. Every year of your life is a smaller fraction of the life that you've already lived. You'll have less and less new experiences, and life will become more and more rapid. Give yourself things to look forward to. Make yourself have new experiences. Outside of that, advice for somebody starting college feeling like life is flying too fast. Experience college. I think that the more fun you have, the faster life will fly by in the present, but the longer it'll feel in the past. Because you'll have more things to look back on. Having fun makes your life go by, but in looking back, it looks longer or feels longer. Because if you have a 9 to 5 and you're bored, that day is really long in the present, but you'll forget it a week from now. Like, you won't even be able to tell me what you did. New mic? No. Crashing for the sub. BG, thank you for the 15. Next trade stream. Would love to help there. Thank you. Tickle, thank you for the 3. Now trying to have a long message. My dad loves your shit. I've been watching you since Cheerio, TikTok. I want to know if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the lives. But you ever thought about how long some people have been watching you, how much they know you exist, you don't even know they exist? Yeah, I was talking to my friends about that the other day. I was like, bro, there's people that watch me every day on Twitch, and I'm a part of their, daily schedule, and I might know your username, but I have no idea who the fuck you are. Cody, thank you for the 5 gifteds. Thank them if you got us up. Thank you for the 5 gifteds.
Using their physical strength to earn as little as $6. For this reason, machines are not used for construction or road work. In this country, it is cheaper to hire humans than to rent machines. Good morning, afternoon, or evening.
But $6? $6? What other jobs do people have in Dhaka that aren't, low-paying wages?
I hope you're all doing great. Friends, today we are in the 5th most densely populated country on Earth. We are in Bangladesh, a country that ranks just behind nations like Singapore and Monaco. This means that among large countries, this is the most densely
What the fuck? Why is he staring at him like that?
This means that among
Bro, he actually looked him up and down.
large countries, this is the most densely populated in the world. Here, in a territory of 146
Bro. Yo, is it just me, or does every travel vlog YouTuber always have like a crowd of people just fucking staring at them? Like the whole time. Even if they're walking, there's just gonna be like a guy in the back that's just like following him.
here, in a territory of 147,000 square kilometers. About
Why are you live this early? Because I wouldn't be able to go live today unless I went live this early. So I would rather get a stream in than not stream at all. PG for the 5. Sorry if it's wrong to ask. Did you see the whole thing with the Mr. Beast and the Team Water fundraiser? Yeah, dude, I actually wanted to donate to that when they're live. Do you guys have, I'm not going to do it right now while I'm streaming. Do you guys have the page? Because there was like some website that he was showing off that wasn't just the YouTube fundraiser. Like, I want to donate to that. Now, I can't donate Trainwreck's money, but I could donate, you know.
3 times the size of Costa Rica and nearly the size of Nicaragua. There aren't just 5 million people like in Costa Rica, or 7 million.
How much would you donate? I don't know. I mean, I'm donating 30K on Wednesday for 3 mil, but I'd still donate like a few $1,000s.
Like in Nicaragua. Here, 170 million people live. Everywhere you look, there are people. And as an extra fact, we are in Dhaka, the country's capital, and the most densely populated.
Ron acted like his phone was dead. All right, I'm not paying attention to this video. I know. And then he donated $50. He was like, oh, my phone died. He just hard shut his phone off when Mr. Beast was calling him.
Everywhere you look, there are people. And as an extra fact, we are in Dhaka, the country's capital, and the most densely populated city in the world. In an area like this, it is estimated that there are approximately 150,000 people per square kilometer.
150,000 people per square kilometer. Like, what is that to New York City? How many do you think New York City is? People per square kilometer. 11,000. So it's like 14 times as many people per square kilometer as New York City.
This extreme overpopulation.
What's the most densely populated city in the U.S.? Guess. I don't know. Would it be? I don't think it's L.A. I was going to say it might be New York. I was going to say even like maybe like Chicago. I don't really know. I don't know how many people. Most densely populated city. No, I'm going to have a pocket pick. Hoboken, New Jersey. Like North Jersey, right off of like the bridge. Most densely populated city in the U.S. Ooh, I was right. It's in New Jersey. Gutenberg, New Jersey has 61,000 people per square mile. Oh, it's all in New Jersey. It's all 5 are in New Jersey. Oh, no, the top 4. Top 5 most densely populated cities in the U.S. Gutenberg, West New York, Union City, and Hoboken. Hoboken was 4. And then Kaser, New York. Yeah, dude, New Jersey just has fucking people.
Has led to an unimaginable and cruel problem. With so many men willing to work, machines are considered an unnecessary luxury. Companies and the government prefer to hire hundreds of workers rather than rent a machine because it is cheaper to pay a man for a week than to rent a machine for a day. For this reason, the streets of Dhaka.
Oh, I mean, yeah, dude. Pay a guy $7. You know how much it costs to fucking run like a bulldozer?
Are built with picks and shovels instead of drills, and workers carry tons of materials on their backs instead of using forklifts. Even places like Dubai have
I mean, this is just like, this guy is in sandals carrying fucking stones. Like, this dude's barefoot in, like, casual wear.
instead of using forklifts. Even places like Dubai have imported workers from Bangladesh to build their incredible skyscrapers. One of the main
Yeah, but I've heard that in Dubai, the working conditions are so fucking unbearable because they're still getting paid nothing, and they're allowed to import workers from anywhere. They're getting paid nothing, and it's 100, and you're in the desert. You're in 100. Imagine having to build stuff with like bad safety quality in like 120-degree weather.
major problems caused by extreme overpopulation, which very few people talk about, is the lack.
But it's Dubai. No, Dubai is very rich, but Dubai's very rich. Dude, the majority of people that live in Dubai aren't even like from Dubai or the UAE. I think it's like 80% or 85% of people that live in Dubai aren't from Dubai. Like, the majority of people that move there that are rich or for tax things. Like, they're people that make money and move there to make more money.
Of jobs.
Even though the cost of living is obscenely high.
There are so many people that the job market is oversaturated, making it nearly impossible to find work. On top of that, the overpopulation issue in this city isn't due to a high birth rate. It's not that
Yeah, he just hit a screeny suey.
birth rate. It's not that there are a ton of babies being born every year. In fact, the birth rate is relatively low. Instead, about 700,000 people migrate from rural areas of Bangladesh to Dhaka every year. This makes things even worse because it becomes harder to find a job, and housing becomes more expensive. For example, imagine that in your town or city, there are 10 taxi drivers covering the entire area and 3 barbers. Now imagine that suddenly, 500 taxi drivers and 300 barbers arrive. The only way to compete is by drastically...
See, like, what the fuck is that? What the hell is he doing? Nah, I can't even pay attention, bro. I'm like... He's making a point that there's just an overpopulation of people and workers, so they can't get paid anything because the supply is way more than the demand for certain things. This dude just pulled up mid-vid. Just actually walked directly into the frame, standing there. Like, what are we doing?
Drivers and 300 barbers arrive. The only way to compete is by drastically lowering prices, and even then, some people will still be left without work. This is what happens in this city. That's why, on every corner, you see...
Bro, and they all just stare at him. I'd be like, bro, you realize, like, you're in frame, right? Like, you're on the film just staring.
Groups of people waiting for their chance, waiting for their moment, to work, making labor extremely cheap. This is why Dhaka is cruelly called the City of Machines, because men here are said to work like machines, working 12 to 18 hours a day for an absurd...
18 hours a day? That's not, I feel like that's not even physically fucking possible. Working 18 hours straight, manual labor? Bro, you're gonna die when you're 30. Holy shit. You leave 6 hours after work. What do they fucking pass out and then go back to work?
Absurdly low wage. In the end, hiring people is cheaper than using machines for almost everything. Right now, we are looking at a building under construction that will be 7
stories high. Is this like safe though? That's my question. I understand they're hiring other contractors for like from Bangladesh and Dhaka to come to Dubai, but do they have like specific structural standards? Because yeah, you have 100 men and it's cheaper than like one piece of equipment, but I don't know if I'm trusting the foundations of this building.
stories tall. It's massive, and it's incredible to see how the foundations, which will be buried maybe 20 or 30 meters underground, are being dug by men. There's no machinery involved, as is common in most large construction projects, because it's much cheaper to pay men to do the work than to bring in an excavator, for example. These workers are paid...
But I feel like this, even if it's cheaper, doesn't this take them longer? I don't know, maybe not. You ever see Amish people build shit? Dude, it's like you're in a fucking, like, sim game on fast forward. They got a house up in a day. Whole house. 20 people. Just built a house. What the fuck? Like, no problem. We'll just be like, yeah, we're done.
Approximately $7 per day, working 8 to 10 hours daily.
That's racist? Brother, that's not racist. I'm complimenting the work power of Amish people.
The men overseeing the construction are likely supervisors or foremen. What I find shocking...
The Family Guy clip? Bro, the Family Guy clip, though, like, dude, lore accurate how fast Amish people build shit. I gotta look up a time lapse now. Amish people building house. Why am I getting a T-Mobile ad, bruh? Oh my god. Okay.
It took about 30 men 12 hours to put up this 32 by 48 foot barn in the Wisconsin town of Clinton for Leslie Cast, whose previous barn was blown down by a storm. He would repay the men with a year's rent-free use of the barn.
Like, look at this, bro. 12 hours? They get that whole house up? The whole barn?
The Vernon
Like,
County
oh my god.
men make up the state's largest
That's like 3 stories.
Amish community. Barn raising has been an Amish tradition for hundreds of years, and it needs to be.
Bro, that's like sunrise, sunset, they're done. Like, bro, you pay a guy to do this, that's gonna take a week. Are there company, like, could you contract Amish companies? I would pay Amish guys to fucking raise a barn in a day. This is like a world record, yeah. This isn't sped up. They could just build that fast. Yeah, this only took them 48 seconds. All right, it's done.
Is that this boy in pink looks underage to me, as does the one in blue. Hello, hello. Yes, definitely. Hello. He must be underage, and he's already working in construction. With so many people, space is scarce, and rent prices are high. Opening a shop is nearly impossible.
But I always wonder, like, in conditions in cities like this, is like the upcoming youth aspiring to leave Bangladesh in its entirety, or at least Dhaka? Because if you're in school, I'm assuming you're probably trying to get a career elsewhere outside of manual labor.
That's why the streets turn into makeshift workshops. This is where shoemakers work, where electricians repair appliances on street corners, and where vendors set up shop even under parked trucks.
Like, how much do you think that guy's getting paid? An electrician? That's not like an easy job. You have to like that's like a trained skill. Like, that's a skilled worker. That's not just manual labor.
Appliances on street corners, and where vendors set up shop even under parked trucks just to have a place to work and sell. Every square inch of land here is owned by someone. For example, it's not uncommon to find a barber working right on the edge of the street. He tells us that a haircut like this can cost 50 cents, and a full cut, including beard trimming, costs 80 cents.
You think you could do like a low taper fade? Yeah. I've always, we've watched videos of guys get haircuts on like street corners in Bangladesh and India, and bro, they'll give some good ass haircuts. With scissors and like a razor blade on a comb. And they'll give you a fade.
You can even find doctors on the street. He tells us that he earns approximately $120 a month working here on the sidewalk.
$120 a month, he's a doctor. Is he a licensed doctor? I see, that's where I go. I don't know if this I don't know if this man has 8-10 years of schooling. Like, he's a doctor, but I feel like more so he's like just the trusted man with knowledge. Like, I bet he knows more than I do, but...
And he doesn't just do things like measure blood pressure. He even conducts blood sugar tests.
Ooh. Oh, I thought they were going to say, like, blood transfusions. I was going to say, is he fucking giving people blood here?
And provides initial treatments for diabetics. A blood test costs about $1. And this analysis to check my blood pressure costs around 20 cents. Okay? We're good. Our blood pressure is like new. For example, on this side of the river, we find someone selling street food. Over here, someone is selling tea.
I just don't like beans, bro. Oh my God. I just don't like beans, man. The idea of just that is a fat ass bowl of beans. Ugh.
Someone
just sitting out.
is selling tea. In another small space, someone is selling homemade bread.
And cigarettes. The morning bread and cig combo.
Space. Someone is selling
Ooh, Lucky Strikes. Wow.
Made bread. And if we
I see that one guy. I've only smoked 2 cigarettes in my life. Don't smoke cigarettes. I always see that one guy. Who's that one dude that smokes cigarettes for a living? On TikTok and YouTube. He raves about Lucky Strikes. He always says how much he loves Lucky Strikes. What's the guy's name? Nick the Smoker? No, I don't think that's him. What is his name? Jacob. Yeah, that's his name. Jacob, and he, like, smokes cigarettes outside. Oh, my God. Now my YouTube recommended is just Amish people building.
Hey, you're in it first. Yeah, we're good to go now.
Man ställer gradnära till det väg. Då tar man stopp på ett annat ställe. Men då grad det väg när man
Are they walking a house? Are they walking a house? They've picked it up. They're moving it. Where are they moving it? Where are they moving it? What the fuck? Oh, you're kidding me. Do you think it's heavy for all of them, or if that many people, it's just like, this is like no problem? What are they saying? He said swing it slowly. All right, what was I just doing? I got very distracted. Oh, Jacob the cigarette guy. Yeah, day drinking and smoking cigarettes in a public park at 1 p.m. This is prime content.
After that, park at 1 have a pack of Export A full cigarettes from.
Ooh, yeah, that's how you know it's not from the U.S. when it has a person dying of cancer on the box. Every other country, no fumar, fumar equal cancer, and then it'll just be somebody dying. That's Canada. Well, I'm just saying any foreign country. Like when I was in Mexico, it would say no fumar.
keep walking toward the riverbank, we find someone who has a small market, thank God, because I need some water. Salam alaikum. Costa Rica. Yes. Thank you. Bangladesh. Beautiful country. There's even a mechanic shop.
What do you think that guy said?
Bangladesh. Beautiful country. There's
What was he? Nah, bro. Leave that clip in. I want to know what the fuck that conversation was. He looked like he had something good to say.
Beautiful country. There's even a mechanic shop here by the riverbank. These men have set up a bicycle repair shop right on the edge. Look at all the customers they have. Here's another one fixing a bike, and look at all the ones in line. And back there, the river. The official minimum wage in Bangladesh is 12 takas, 15,500 takas per month, approximately.
Minimum wage is $1,200 a year. Are they getting taxed on that?
$100, meaning that a large part of the population lives on $3.3 a day or less. One of the hardest, most dangerous, and worst paid jobs in Bangladesh can be found here, on the banks of the Buriganga River. This is one of the toughest jobs in the city.
Are they welders and they're getting paid the worst?
These workers are responsible for repairing or dismantling ships, depending on their condition. Ships arrive, they are placed here, and if they are completely unusable, they are taken apart, piece by piece. All the iron is removed to be reused for construction. They sell the propellers, they sell everything separately. Or, if the ship can still be used, they repair it and put it back in the water. This job is in high demand because this port here is the port of the largest river.
Bro, like, I'm not, I would never want this job, but I'm saying, like, I would love to just experience this for, like, even 4 hours. Just to see what they have to do, you know what I mean? Not like a dirty jobs show type thing, but if I always want to travel the world, I would love to just go to some guy and be like, yo, can I work for you for like 2 hours? No, I'm not like 2 hours. I'm not saying I want to do an 18-hour shift with them, but like I'd be like, let me just see what you do.
In all of Southeast.
Because I guarantee you it's probably like an hour in, you're like, I'm done. This is terrible.
Asia. So, many people dedicate themselves to different...
I don't think you could handle it. I don't know if you're trying to rage bait me, man. I agree. I don't know if you're trying to make a point here. Yeah, you're right. Fuck, what the fuck you mean? I'm not going to be able to dismantle ships for 18 hours. I'd fucking pass out.
Tasks. From the lowest jobs, like sanding or painting ships, to even underwater welding, which is a very specialized...
Underwater welding, they're getting paid bad wages. Isn't underwater welding like a really hard profession?
...job, requiring different machinery and other complexities.
My name is Kabjul. I have been working in this shipyard for 30 years. I feel happy with my job. I work 8 hours a day and earn $6 a day. I'm very happy with my work, and there is nothing I would like to change about it.
Bro, $6 a day. $6 a day, bro. I can't. Like, dude, this is going to sound so stupid to, like, relate it to this. One Twitch sub is $6. I'm not making $6, but you spent that guy's wage to sub, and he made that in 8 hours. 8 hours. It took him to make $6.
All my life.
One of the most impressive things about this interview is that I asked him what the worst part of this job...
It's all cheaper there, though? Bro, that's what everybody says, but it's not 500 times cheaper. Everything's cheaper, yeah, but, like, even comparably, the things that are cheaper are also of worse quality. It's like there's a middle ground, right? Like there's certain countries where things are cheaper, the cost of living is cheaper, but it still is like on par in quality. Once you get to the point where workers are making like literally $5 a day, $6 a day, it's just worse. Like even if it is cheaper, it's not good. How much cheaper is it? That's what I'm saying. There's no way it's that much cheaper. Like he's making in a day less than the lowest minimum wage worker in the United States makes in an hour.
And he said there is no worst part. He loves this job. You have no problems?
No problem.
No problem? You love this?
I love this job.
Amazing. People do their jobs happily. This is truly impressive. I don't know how many times I've said this today, but workers here in Bangladesh, it's no wonder they are called machines. Look at how they work without any kind of safety measures. Just look here. These guys are hanging with some makeshift setup. They don't have ladders. They don't have scaffolding. They don't...
Yeah, and if you fucking shatter your leg, you're not getting like paid leave. They're not helping pay for your injuries. Like you just snapped your arm.
Don't wear harnesses.
Or you coming to work tomorrow.
In factories, they work without anything to filter plastic fumes. Of course, this is part of something very cruel. In a way, the fact that there are no regulations, no laws providing them with certain...
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. They're welding and they're not wearing masks.
...guarantees is very harsh, but they work like machines. Look at everyone here, working and repairing ships, and no one complains. Out of all the people we've interviewed today, they all say it's fun, that their job is fun.
My name is Muhammad Masudillah. I have been working at this port for 6 months. I work 8 hours a day and earn $4 a day. Most of the time I work with a hammer. Every time I hit the ship...
Yeah, I'm hearing too much right now. I have no idea what he's saying.
It makes a very loud noise. This can damage my hearing. That is the worst part.
Let me translate. It is the part of the job. I actually, dude, I'm almost sure that's right. It is the part of the trabajo's work. Part of the work.
This job we are about to see sometimes requires up
Worst part of the work. Oh.
to 18 hours of
It's close.
non-stop work. What they do here is take apart pieces from dismantled ships, like this propeller, for example, which is broken and no...
Well, how much is that selling for?
No longer works. They have to take it, put it into a furnace, which, in fact, is currently boiling. And there's no kind of safety here. No, nothing indicates anything.
Wait, that's a furnace? Like, you could just fall into that. Like, if you're, like, talking to your friend, just walking, you could dead-ass just step into that and die.
People don't wear masks.
It's just a hole in the ground.
They don't wear anything.
That's a hole, but they put metal in there.
Here, they melt the propeller and turn it into liquid metal. Then, inside here, there's a guy in charge of digging out the shape of the propeller, like the one we can see in the back. Once the shape is ready, they pour the liquid metal, or this liquid material, so that the propeller comes out new, completely repaired. Sometimes they work up to 15, 16, 18 hours, depending on demand, and they earn $130 a month.
But they're doing better than the average worker.
Approximately 75,000 colognes. Among everything we've seen, we haven't even mentioned the overwhelming amount of trash generated by this extreme overpopulation. Just look at what we have here. In the background, the Buriganga River, one of the most polluted rivers on the entire planet, one of the few that has already died biologically due to pollution. And on top of that, Bangladesh is the most polluted country on Earth. That's something we'll explore further in a full video, so subscribe and show this content a lot of love if you like it. It's quite difficult to come all the way here. One of the most oversaturated jobs is that of freight transporters. Usually, people who didn't study or didn't have the opportunity to learn anything end up doing this type of work.
Wait, bro, the people had to go to schooling to become welders, and they're still making 130 a day, or not a day, a week, or no, not a week, a month? Oh my God. $130 a month.
However, they are an essential part of the city's transportation and logistics system. Many work transporting raw materials to small plastic factories.
My name is Bartolozzi. I work as a porter. I work 12 to 14 hours a day and earn between...
Well, okay, I'm going to say this. They have a minimum wage of $100 a month, but that's if you're employed. A lot of these workers probably are self-employed, right? So the government's not paying them like something to a subsidy or whatever. Like they're just getting paid whatever they make. So they could make less than that.
$12 to $15 daily. But it's very little money to support our family.
Some simply transport whatever they are asked to.
My name is Abdul Malik. I work in a garment factory. I work 10 to 12 hours a day and earn between $8 and $9 daily. I feel very happy with my lifestyle.
Others transport loads of up to 1 ton.
My name is Shalom. I've worked for 30 years with no set.
Do you think they're actually happy? Like, they're all saying they love their job. That's so shocking to me. Like, to be like, yeah, I love this career. I think maybe they don't dislike... I think they're in better positions than other people. So, comparatively, they're I'm happy. This is a good job.
Hours, sometimes 10 to...
Because there's people that are around them that make less.
I earn $18 to $20 daily and pay my assistant.
Wait, $18, $20 daily? This guy's making money, no?
Transport loads of up to 1 ton.
My name is Shalom. I've worked for 30 years with no set hours, sometimes 10 to 12 a day. I earn $18 to $20 daily and pay my assistant. I love my
He's making way more than everybody else. He's making like $600 a month.
job and hope to do it for life.
This makes no sense. Look at the load this porter is carrying. It's as if he were a truck. These are the people who pull carts here in Bangladesh. And look at the size of the cart and the load. The load this man is carrying is so large that it has collapsed traffic. In fact, look, people
that guy's getting pissed.
are yelling. Everyone is angry with him because the load is hitting things as he moves and he can't pass. On top of that, people still throw themselves into the street, making things worse. What we're about to see...
This would give me... I would never be able to do this. I could try and do the fucking welding work for a day and, like, just hammer metal. Oh, my God, dude, the anxiety. Like, everyone's staring at you, like, move out of the fucking way. He's standing in the middle of the road with a fat-ass cart. Everybody's beeping, like, move, dude. Oh, my God, I would run away. I would leave the cart. I wouldn't be able to do this.
What we're about to see breaks my heart.
Like trying to be like, oh yeah, I have to walk this a mile and it's going to be like this the entire way.
Because this entire problem even affects children. We're about to enter a plastic factory. And
oh my God, don't tell me kids are working at plastic factories.
even with a mask on, I can feel the plastic on my face. It's entering through my nose. And here, we find a child who might be around 10 years old.
10? 10? He's 10 and he's working at a fucking plastic factory?
His job is to grab
Does he not have school?
the plastic pieces coming out of this machine, take them out, and polish them without any kind of protection, not even a mask. And behind him, they are also making plastic lids. This is a factory owned by someone who hires these workers. And for example, the child, who we don't even know if he's telling the truth.
Oh my God, bro. And he's not on work records, so he probably gets paid less. Like minimum wage was what? $3 a day. It was at $3 a day, $3.30 a day. They could probably pay him like $1.
Earns approximately $70 a month, working 6 to 8 hours a day here. In Dhaka, while some work up to 18 hours a day for miserable wages, there are others who don't even have access to a job. The Hijra are a transgender community recognized as the third official gender in Bangladesh. And here, there are no opportunities for them. They have to survive by begging on the streets and selling their bodies. People commonly feel the need to give them money because of the situation they live in. Due to the lack of space and rising housing prices.
So they're not allowed to get hired because they're trans, so they have to beg for money and become prostitutes?
Many people sleep in their workplaces, in trucks, in carts, under staircases.
Well, why is this guy in a cage?
Under staircases. Those who manage to afford an apartment must live overcrowded in very small rooms, or some even live under bridges.
My name is Mr. Farouk. I have lived here for 30 years. I live here
Lived under the bridge for 30 years?
because I don't have the money for an apartment and haven't been able to find a job. So I stay here. It's very difficult to live with 25 people here during the rainy season. The mosquitoes have been a huge problem, and living here has been difficult because of the dirt and all the trash. We are suffering here, but we cannot afford to live in an apartment.
Due to extreme overpopulation.
Oh my God, bro. Holy shit. He's been living under a bridge for 30... Somebody said stop having kids. I was just about to ask, why is he continuing to have children? I mean, maybe a lack of, a lack of, like, condoms is what I'm thinking. Like, not even necessarily trying to have children. Like, they don't have, like, contraceptive shit.
Hospitals are overwhelmed. This hospital behind me is a public hospital in Bangladesh, and it's estimated.
More workers? Well, that wasn't... It's not uncommon historically for people to have a lot of kids because those kids can help support you. But in a situation this dire, I don't think having more kids is helping you. It's probably making things worse. Because then he has to take care of more people, and the jobs they could get can't really help him because they could barely help themselves.
Estimated that there are only 5 doctors per every 10,000 people. On top of that,
No way Unc is drinking from a mug.
private hospitals are inaccessible. They are unaffordable for most of the population. I visited chaotic and overcrowded
I mean, dude, they're getting like imported fruits though.
places, but never in my life have I seen anything like this. Look, the traffic doesn't move. Sometimes people can't even walk because traffic blocks this small pedestrian path. If I want to cross, I have to climb over a public transport vehicle. And when a car tries to pass, everything collapses.
What's the point of having public transport vehicles if it's dead-ass slower than walking? If it's straight-up standstill traffic, why would anybody pay a taxi bike man to take them somewhere? Because they're just going to sit for 4 hours.
That's what I mean. When a car comes through, everyone has to squeeze to the sides to let it pass. People tap on the car, warning the driver to be careful, but no one gets mad. I'm the only one completely shocked. For them, it's normal, just part of daily life. Friends, markets in this part of
barefoot on the fucking fish. Oh my God.
the world are insane, especially here in Bangladesh. These are the cheap butcher shops where most people buy chicken, fish, and shrimp because supermarkets are expensive.
Bro, the raw chicken hanging out at room temp.
Only for the wealthy. So here is where you find meat, vegetables, and even
How do you not get sick from that?
live animals for sale. Interestingly, in most markets like this that I visited, the smell is usually so strong that you'd want to run away, but not here. Honestly, it feels like a relatively clean market. They sell chicken here for
I feel like it would just smell like a fish market. Why do they already have them? Okay, this is going to sound even more fucked, but like, why do they have them pre-cut? Like, I would feel safe walking up and going, that one. And then he kills it on the spot and hands it to me.
$2.50.
$2.50 a chicken?
That's 1,200.
What is this? Is that their neck?
50 colones per kilo. And something really curious, they have pigeons. At first, I thought they were selling them for food. I asked how much they cost, but they told me no, they're pets. In Islam, or at least here in Bangladesh, pigeons are believed to bring good luck. So, some businesses keep pigeons as pets. What you're seeing behind me right now is a fruit and vegetable auction. They're
Dude, this guy. I like this guy. I like this dude. Coming in. I feel like a lot of them be staring like mean mugging the camera. This dude's like, selfie.
fruit and
He just posted up.
vegetable auction. They're unloading a container, and people are placing bids. All these people standing on the side of the road, there's barely any space. Look at how things get when trucks pass by. Everyone is bidding on the produce the sellers are offering.
Wow, so it's all fucking auction based.
This
Do you think these are vendors or people buying them for themselves? Because usually you would auction off things that are then going to be sold at market by businessmen. But I feel like it's a mixture. You could buy a crate of fucking grapes for your family.
is a wholesale market. It's insane. At first glance, the streets of Bangladesh have a very shady business going on. You see thousands of these little cards scattered on the ground. And from what I've been
You know the biggest loser thing you could do? You know that one guy from Storage Wars that just goes, yep, and he just tries to raise the price and then pin it on somebody else so they have to pay more? The biggest loser thing you could do is go to DACA and just bid up everything. That would be like, oh. That I would actually, if somebody did that, say you were watching a YouTuber and they were like, yeah, I'm just gonna bid up the prices. I would be like, yo, you're a fucking asshole. Like, that would be the actually biggest loser thing you could do. How long is stream? 3 hours. Yo, Local, thank you for the 5 gifteds. Thank them if you got us up. Thank you for the 5 gifteds. Hold up. Dooley XP for the sub. Ian paid Disco Sigma Trey. Big, thank you for the 5 gifteds. Person God for the sub. Puddle Cosmic Local, thank you for the 5 gifteds. I was, thank you for the raid. Blugba OG Poogly for the sub. AH for the 3. Why is it on car posters? Saw it already. Quote for the sub. Rivero for the 3. Oiled and TRD for the sub. Chunky for the 3. Even though I have good Wi-Fi, the stream's still lagging. Chat, is stream lagging? Matt and Big for the sub. BG, thank you for the 3. Or for the 5. Say you'd like to the water. Hope you have a good stream, brother. Much love. D-Lou for the sub. Priel for the sub. Capital, Jabber for the sub. Cold, thank you for the 3. Can you take philosophy in high school? If so, any tips? Depends on the high school. Bomb for the sub. Just read the things and then just go from there. PG, thank you for the 10 gifteds. I can't click on links, though, that you send me. And PG, thank you for the 5. I already read that. Cody, thank you for the 5 gifteds. Crackly for the sub. Cosmic, thank you for the 15. Outro Beast. Crackly for the sub. It's up. Thank you for the sub. What's up, Crackly? All right, lock in, chat. No, it's fine? All right, word. Okay.
At first glance, the streets of Bangladesh have a very shady business going on. You see thousands of these little cards scattered on the ground. And from what I've been told, if you call, you can get anything, from an escort to drugs of all kinds. And you might wonder, if these cards
So people walk around and just throw them on the ground. So if you're ever desperate, you'll just call it.
are everywhere with phone numbers, why doesn't the police do anything? Well, it's because these are big criminal organizations that bribe the police, and that's how this kind of business operates. Here in this country, the wind is starting to blow because the monster
So the police do nothing, and these guys just like throw. I see the yellow card right there. So there's just yellow cards all over the fucking city, and if you're ever like, I want drugs, you just pick it up, call the number, and then meet up with a guy.
monsoon season is about to begin in Bangladesh, bringing total chaos. When the wind blows, the dust becomes unbearable. It gets in your eyes, your throat, your nose. You can't breathe. I don't know if you can see it, but all that haze is pollution and dust. This is something I never imagined witnessing, and now I'm seeing an electrician fixing a power issue in the middle of this tangled mess of electrical cables that
Oh my God.
cover the city.
Dude, what's fucking wild is this is also how in GeoGuessr you could tell that you're in like Bangladesh or I think Sri Lanka. If you ever just see wires just on the, like just clumps of tangled wires, you're in either Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. Indonesia is also really easy to tell where you are, even without the wires.
Well, my friends, this is where today's incredible and shocking video ends. Tell me below, what did you think about everything we saw today?
Oh, fucking wild, dude. I mean, that was a good-ass video, but oh my God. Oh, all the comments are in a different language. Incredible how we take things for granted. Oh my God, yeah, dude. People working 18 hours to make $100 a month. Yikes. Mr. Glush Fox and sub for the sub. Klexy for the sub. I think there's a difference, though. I think some people are always like, if you ever complain about anything that's like a first world problem, it's like, well, just remember people have it worse than you. I think that's like a weird comeback because obviously if you live in like a first world country, you're going to have first world problems. Just because people have it worse doesn't necessarily mean that your problems don't matter. Like that, we should still actively try to fix the issues within our own country, but also remind ourselves like, yeah, people have it much worse than we do, regardless of the situation you're in. Crackly sub, Fox, Mr. Glub, and Klexy for the sub. All right, next video. The downfall of modern Spongebob characters. I don't want to go on a 10-minute rant before we even click play, but I got a voice that I rewatched SpongeBob not too long ago, and every episode after season 2 is just dog shit. There's a few good ones like season 3, 4, 5 that are still like OGs, but when you watch the show, even like today, like OG episodes, it's just straight brain rot. It's brain rot. It's so fast paced you could barely follow the plot, and I think that's because it's a kid show. But it's like the first seasons are still enjoyable. If you ever watch a new episode of SpongeBob, the characters start like physically annoying you. SpongeBob's always like the annoying, nasally, like ignorant guy that, you know, flips patties at the Krabby Patty. Or not the Krabby Patty, the Krusty Krab. But it's like they've kidified them to a level that is unrecognizable.
SpongeBob characters.
And I don't know why they still make episodes. It's because SpongeBob's basically become a forever show. Are there any other kid forever shows, like forever cartoons? Forever cartoons are really common, like Simpsons, Family Guy. I don't even know if American Dad is one. Rick and Morty will probably become one. Gumball just got re-renewed. I wouldn't say that's a forever show. I don't know any other forever cartoons, like Peppa Pig, maybe.
They're loud, chaotic,
Better
and flat.
kids.
Back then, every single character felt special. But today, they're barely recognizable. Where did it all go wrong? There was a time when SpongeBob felt special. He wasn't just funny, he was real.
Bro, that was prime SpongeBob. That image right there. Like the OG, and not this one. The OG animated SpongeBob. Actually, I don't think that's OG.
Just funny.
But like the old SpongeBob res. Now he's like very yellow and he looks like shiny. Like you spit on him.
He was real. Not in the realistic sense, obviously, he's a sponge working at a fast food joint. But we used to feel connected with him. His character was cheerful most of the time. Yeah, but there were times when he also got...
This one's OG. That's not.
Nervous.
Even that's still like reasonable though. I think SpongeBob still has some decent episodes like in the, you know, season 5, 6 area. But after that, what season of SpongeBob do you think we're on? I'm going to guess like 20. 16 seasons of SpongeBob. And they're coming out like in modern times. Season 16, episode 1 aired June 27th, 2025. So like a little over a month ago. There's 16 seasons. I feel like most people stopped watching SpongeBob after like season 5 or 6. Like that's what I remember. Maybe like a few episodes like season 7, but that'd be about it.
Confused, even embarrassed.
I never watched it. Wow.
He cared when people didn't like him. He wanted to be good at his job, to be respected, to make people proud, especially Mr. Krabs. His character is so dynamic because there are so many emotions packed into one sponge. Often in a single episode, his mood could change quickly in just a few seconds.
Or am I gonna have
Bro, the realest shit I ever see is when people talk about how Squidward used to be really annoying when you were a kid, but you relate to him as you get older. Like, as you age, you're like, you know, Squidward was kind of like actually spitting facts. Like, most of the show, he's like, he's not even really being pessimistic. He's just like, dude, you're ruining my life. Like everything you do just affects me in a negative way.
We could see it since the very first episode of Help Wanted. SpongeBob is excited to start his new job as a fry cook at the Krusty Krab.
with a help wanted sign in the window? For years, I've been dreaming of this moment.
This is an interesting detail because he knows that he was being excited and thinking he might be getting ahead of himself, so he's losing confidence. This kind of detail is the reason why kids, even adults, feel connected to him. SpongeBob didn't just act like a kid, he felt like one. He thinks like a kid.
How old is SpongeBob supposed to be? He's an adult. Like 20s? How old is SpongeBob supposed to be? Mid-30s? Bro, this guy's a loser. He's 38 based on his license. Okay, but in that license photo, he was born 1986. When was the SpongeBob license episode? Because I'll say that he just, like, stops aging then. When was the SpongeBob license shown? Like, when was that? Like, let's just say it was season 3. It was, like, 2010. Oh, SpongeBob's driver's license was shown in 2000. That would make him 14. Am I doing math right? No, that would make him 14 at the time of the episode. But he would have a license and a job. There's no way. SpongeBob's driver's license first appears in season 1, episode Sleepy Time, aired in 2000. It showed his birthday was 1986, July 14th. Some initially questioned the validity due to its dream context. I always assumed SpongeBob was like 27 and just like a bum.
He behaves like a kid, even living his life like a kid. That's what makes his character funny in the first place. Seeing a naive kid trying to fit into an adult environment with the most ridiculous ways possible is the jokes. SpongeBob was the anchor of the show's heart. His positivity balanced the cynicism of Squidward, the stupidity of Patrick, and the greed of Mr. Krabs. We could see this also when he tried so hard to deliver that pizza, even after being stranded in the middle of nowhere. He doesn't want to fail Mr. Krabs for giving the job to him. That optimism was honest. It came from effort, not just volume. The first SpongeBob SquarePants movie is probably the
peak
last time we saw this version of SpongeBob. Right after the first movie, SpongeBob...
Yeah, but I like the theory. I really do enjoy the theory that in the first film, he died on that sun table and then was reborn as a different sponge. And that's why his character is different. Because it's actually not SpongeBob. It's like a different Spud version of SpongeBob.
Character became somewhat energetic. They pushed the joke into different directions, using slapstick jokes with lots of gross...
Yeah, that's where the show took a downturn. was when, like, every episode they just had some weird, gross, over-textualized animation.
Stuff and uncomfortable visuals.
Oh, this episode was the worst. It was a good watch, but I remember the whole time being like, bro, they're throwing trash on his fucking Splinter.
They also take advantage of the joke that SpongeBob laughs are unique.
This.
To some people, it's a funny experience, but when it's used continuously with each episode, they start to force it into the joke, which makes it annoying. And fast forward to the present. Today's SpongeBob feels emotionless, to say the least. It feels like he performs those emotions. He laughs because that's what SpongeBob does, not because anything's actually funny. It's just obnoxiously loud. Somehow it feels like they dumbed down on the show overall. Instead of properly setting up jokes, they used more and more random slapstick jokes to get as many laughs as possible. It's all noise and weird expressions, all the time.
I don't even think, though, that's, like, the writer's fault. It's the fact that if they made modern SpongeBob episodes today, it wouldn't even do well. I don't know how SpongeBob airs in popularity today, but kids today watch Cocomelon and Brain Rot. So, somebody redeemed Flex. If kids today are watching already other things that are like cutscene, joke, there's no, like, plot building. And so if SpongeBob doesn't follow suit with just, like, falling into the nonsensical, like, just bits, it would fail. I just think they should have ended the show. That's why I hate when shows, like, it as an example, Gravity Falls, 2 seasons. I would have watched it for 10. But they ended on a good note. And I think that's how you have a good show. Is when it's good, cut it. Just stop it. Don't drag it to the gutter and churn money out of it. Just stop the show. SpongeBob's a little different because there's no, like, story. It's just, like, every episode's a one-off different episode, which is what I think Rick and Morty is turning into, which I'm perfectly fine because I also, in my honest opinion, I thought Rick and Morty's story was kind of stupid. I didn't really care about it. I just want to see them do dumb shit, right? See, like Mordecai and Rigby. I want to see Rick and Morty do cool futuristic shit. I don't care about evil Morty and evil Rick. Fuck them. Get rid of them. Drop that plot, right? I love the new season where they just do stupid episodes that are one-offs with maybe one lore-based episode. Just do that. But SpongeBob has no story, so they could run it forever. But even then, I think they could have stopped it at, like, season 8, and it would have been a good note.
I can't hold it.
Which is probably
like a show that dragged on too long. What am I gonna say, chat? Not a cartoon. You might have never seen it. I watched almost the entire show, and it is peak, but Supernatural. This show is way too fucking long. If you're unemployed, this is the show for you. Okay? It is 15 seasons, and each season has an average episode count of 22. Each episode is an hour. An hour. What the fuck? Like, if you watched it start to end, it would take you more than 2 weeks to finish the show. Like, it just nonstop. It is so long. After season 7, they're like, Dean's the devil. Now he's not the devil. Now Sam's God. Now Sam's not God. Now he's a vampire. Now he's no longer a vampire. He's a werewolf. He died. Actually, he's back. Actually, God is actually a comic book writer. God's actually evil. Oh, and now I'm like, bro, what are we fucking doing? Just end the show.
To always keep people engaged, especially the kids. Because kids nowadays have short attention spans. So maybe the show writer tried to keep them hooked every 10 seconds with a weird face expression, just like scrolling through social media. The show stopped asking us to feel with him and started begging us.
What about anime? Oh, brother, I've done a million rants on 1,000-episode series animes. I don't even think that, like, One Piece's manga I'm not upset with. It's how slow and how drawn out they make 1,000-episode animes where they could condense 10 episodes into one, but they don't because they just want to make more money.
Us to laugh at him. We rarely see SpongeBob having a monologue with himself these days. His character stops being self-conscious, and it shows. Instead of a character with real feelings, we got a hyperactive mascot, and it's pretty sad to see. The noise gets louder, but the heart gets quieter. And if SpongeBob is the chaos engine, then Patrick is the wrecking ball. Patrick is a dumb sea star. That's not a secret. But there was something endearing about it. He was SpongeBob's ride-or-die best friend.
I feel like most people's favorite character was Patrick.
Sweet, loyal, and goofy in a way that made you want to protect him. His brain wasn't exactly firing on all cylinders, but there was a weird wisdom there. It's not about winning.
No. Who's y'all's favorite character? I liked Squidward. I feel like for me it was Patrick, SpongeBob, Sandy, Mr. Krabs, and then like random other characters. I never really liked the Squidward episodes.
Or that iconic line,
Doodle Bob. Bro, Doodle Bob episode gave me nightmares. Oh my god. Doodle Bob gave me nightmares. Not even lying. Where he had like that evil version of him that was like hunting him down and would just screech.
The machinations of my mind are an enigma.
In the early episodes like Big Pink Loser, we saw him try and fail numerous times. He's not giving up simply because he wants to accomplish something, a trophy. Though he ends up getting one himself for literally not doing anything. Yeah, it's weird, but it's also a heartwarming resolution for his character. It's better to be yourself rather than to be someone else just because you want to be recognized. He wasn't smart, but he cared for people around him. And when he messed up, it came from misunderstanding, not malice. But somewhere along the way...
I do love the Patrick Doctor episode.
Patrick's character went off the rails. He didn't just get dumber. He got mean. Where his stupidity used to come from innocence, now it comes from apathy. He started being selfish, destructive, and honestly, kind of toxic. Instead of helping SpongeBob, he started hurting him, on purpose, or through mindless recklessness. They took the one thing kids loved, Patrick's dumb, and cranked it up until it swallowed everything.
Oh my god, I forgot he had his own show. And it flopped miserably because nobody watched it. They released it at like the worst time when everybody was aging out of SpongeBob and it was like I guess lessening in popularity. They're like, yeah, let's bring on the Patrick show when the average OG audience member is like fucking 15 now. Nobody's gonna watch it.
Else. These days, Patrick is basically a walking disaster. He breaks things, hurts people, and shrugs it off like it's part of the joke. And the worst part? The show plays it off like it's funny. It's not. Like in Pet Sitter Pat, he nearly kills Gary through sheer neglect. That is the joke for the whole episode. Early Patrick would have felt bad. New Patrick just shrugs, drools, and continues to break something else. In the recent episode, Pet the Rock from season 14, Patrick just became somewhat psychotic.
SpongeBob!
What?
Like, that upsets me that they killed the show like this.
What was that about?
Does it do well? How do they keep renewing for more seasons? Isn't Nickelodeon like a failing business? I'm pretty sure like Kai Cenat gets more average viewers than Nickelodeon. It's a kids show, I know, but what kids watch cable TV anymore? I'm pretty sure SpongeBob does so bad. Like Nickelodeon in general. Nickelodeon average viewers. In 2023, Nickelodeon saw a decline across its channels, averaging 245,000 viewers. The main Nickelodeon channel, 190, and Nick Jr., 112. Bro, so there's times where, like, the top Twitch streamers have more viewers than an entire cable network. That's insane. But when we were, okay, to put it in perspective, 245,000 people watching a show is still a lot. But I think it was in the millions when we were all like 10. It used to be like 2 or 3 million. Like 10 times what it is now.
Is he getting PBA disorder like the Joker now? That's the joke? Patrick cannot control his emotions anymore? Later in the episode, Patrick is taking his pet rock to the park. And guess what happened?
Whoa, Rolly! You want to play with everyone today!
This guy just pummeled everyone in the park out of nowhere, and that's supposed to be funny? When you make a character so stupid that they lose empathy, they stop being fun to watch. In earlier episodes, Patrick was at least competent enough to do simple stuff. Now it feels like he's too stupid to function. He's not funny because he's confused anymore. He's funny because he's a problem.
Yeah, Patrick used to be a dumb risk taker, and now he's just an idiot. You remember when they had the Hook episode where there was a editor, if this becomes a video, throw up an image. They had a bunch of hooks on the ground or in the water, and they had like cheese on them. And he was like, dude, SpongeBob, these are like, this is free food. And they would like play on him and shit. And Mr. Krabs was like, you're going to get, they're going to pull you in. You're going to die. I had a friend die. And they're like, no. And they keep playing with it. And they keep making those risks, and it builds anticipation. And then finally they do get like hooked. That was the plot, I guess.
Sure, the show tried.
Now it's just, you just know Patrick's going to break some shit. There's no build-up.
Tries to give him emotional moments now and then, but they fall flat because the groundwork isn't there anymore. You can't care about a character who's been written into a mean joke too many times. And with Patrick turning into a wrecking ball, Squidward turns into a punching bag. Squidward was never meant to be a hero, but for a lot of us, he kind of became one. In the city full of absurdity, Squidward's cynicism...
Why doesn't he wear pants? Why does he only wear a shirt?
In the city full of absurdity, Squidward's cynicism became a sort of reality check. He was tired, underappreciated, stuck in a job he hated, and surrounded by people he didn't understand. He was us on a Monday morning, just trying to get through it without losing it completely. And honestly, he handled it better than most of us would. But underneath all that bitterness, there was ambition, sensitivity, even sadness. Sometimes he just lost it, and I wouldn't blame him. It's not easy being Squidward.
And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is mayonnaise an instrument? See, that's peak comedy.
But here's the thing. Squidward's pain is not the punchline. Episodes like Squidville showed us that Squidward wasn't just a grump. He was a guy trying to find meaning, trying to chase something better. But he kept getting dragged down by conditions, which is fun.
Yeah, and there was always a lesson. Like the one episode where he went to like Squidville with all the people that were like him, and he ended up hating it, and he realized that he enjoyed the variety that SpongeBob and Patrick entered into his life.
Funny, but also kind of heartbreaking. And when he won, like in Band Geeks, it felt huge. Like watching someone finally catch a break after years of chaos. These ups and downs in his story are the essence of his character. His trait of cynicism is caused by years of failure and frustration.
The peak viewership for Nickelodeon was 10 million. Yeah, probably in like 2008.
This is also the reason why many of us felt related with Squidward's story when we grew up. Because he is the regular person in the show. Those little victories, they mattered.
Bro, remember when there would be like hype for, oh my god, I miss like the cable drop days. I think kids shouldn't be allowed to use subscription services. They should have to watch fucking like shows that are just on. That was a fun era. Like going through the channels and just being like, I only have options between what's... Like, you would just start watching a show mid-episode. Like you couldn't rewind. So it was just like, I want to watch a show, but it's 7:20. So I'm watching the latter half of Drake and Josh. I'm tuning in, and I may have seen this episode. It doesn't matter. Or you would have you would know when something came on. There's still like drop hours and days for episodes on cable TV, but nobody cares anymore. You'll just watch it the next day when it's out on Paramount or HBO or Netflix or whatever it is. It used to be so cool being like, yeah, the new Zack and Cody is out at 9 tonight, and I have to be on TV to watch it. Oh, the new fucking, or it'd be like a crossover episode. That was really cool. Like, you would get hyped for that, like Wizards of Waverly Place crossing over. Or if it was just like, it could even be like movies. They would drop like Nickelodeon or like Disney movies on TV at a certain time. And that was so sick.
But now, he doesn't win. Ever. Squidward stopped being a character and started being a crash test dummy. Every episode, he suffers. He's humiliated, injured, embarrassed, sometimes for no reason other than SpongeBob and Patrick existing near him. My guy can't catch a break. You don't get it. He's a funny character because he's sassy and cynical even when he hits rock bottom, not because we love to see him getting tortured. Episodes like Ink Lemonade don't just push the joke, they grind it into the ground. SpongeBob and Patrick discover that every time Squidward gets jumped or scared, he's spewing out his ink, which turns out to be delicious.
That's delicious.
They continue to scare Squidward to death just so they could sell Squidward ink to people. What the?
What the fuck? Bro, I kind of want to just watch a random episode of a new season of SpongeBob.
Aside from the joke, I kind of felt bad for him. They just milked him for the whole episode. Maybe
literally.
Milking him wasn't the right word, but you get what I mean. At this point, Squidward could fall into a volcano, and the show would probably add a fart sound and call it a day. No lesson, no moment, just pain.
What the?
Yeah, he's just a punching bag character versus like a relief.
In the old seasons, when Squidward got hurt, it usually felt earned. Because he was being arrogant or dismissive, now he just gets punished for existing, and it's exhausting to watch. In Season 13 alone, there are at least 5 episodes where SpongeBob tortures Squidward as a main focus of the story. It could be more, since I haven't yet watched every episode.
Well, dude, I also think they're running out of ideas. I think it's hard to have a forever kids show, because there's only so much you can do. In Family Guy and The Simpsons and like adult cartoons, they can joke and do content about anything. Like Family Guy can make modern episodes about modern day issues. South Park the same. And they can talk and do, like they can make a plot where they have a higher variety of content to run. This, they live underwater in the Bikini Bottom in this fucking contained universe. They're only able to make content within that universe, and they can't go into the adult range of content, so they're stuck making the same fucking 10 kid jokes for 15 seasons. Yo, thank you for the fucking raid. Dub in the chat, bro. Mod, shout out Yo, thank you for the fucking raid, man. Joshua Aiden for the 5, gifted Small and Maury for the sub, Jal, D11, Jeff, and Joshua for the sub, Camp, thank you for the 3. Today's my birthday, happy birthday. Tiro, thank you for the sub, Brady for the raid. Bam Brother, Rit, a silver, thank you for the sub, Perella, thank you for the 500 biddies, for Big Spoon, Pandas, Rocket, and for the sub, RT for the 3. How you felt with everything with Philosophy first year and everything's feels cynical? What do you mean? Ness for the sub, Fire, thank you for the 3. Click, Fox, Mr. Glub, Soup, Crackley for the 1,000 biddies, Yer for the sub, RB for the sub.
You can only watch someone lose so many times before it stops being funny and just starts feeling cruel. And when every pain turns into a joke, none of them stick. But you know what's also painful? Seeing your boss turn into a capitalist. Mr. Krabs has always been about money. That's nothing new. But early on, his greed was simply a bad habit, not all that he was. Yeah, he was cheap, sure. He exploited his employees a little, but deep down, he had heart. He is a proud business owner and cares about his daughter. Sometimes we could see him being a father figure to SpongeBob. In episodes like Sleepy Time, Mr. Krabs dreamed about sailing with his daughter. Or Welcome to the Chum Bucket, where we saw that he cared about SpongeBob. And for a split second, money doesn't really matter. These little details in the story really showcase Krabs' personality outside the work environment. He had a history, a daughter, even regrets as a father. He could be selfish, but he wasn't soulless. There were lines he wouldn't cross, especially for the closest person. Then, post-movie, especially...
I hate Pearl. I hate Pearl. I've always hated Pearl. I think she's so fucking annoying. I hate every episode she's in. Because she always brings her friends, and they're always angry, and she's always mad, and she's spoiled, and annoying.
By season 7 and beyond, greed took over everything. Those lines disappeared, and what used to be a flaw became a full-blown personality, literally. As the show progressed, Mr. Krabs' character underwent a process known as flanderization, where his negative traits were amplified and became the dominant aspect of his personality. The worst part is how the show treats his relationship with Spongebob. He used to respect SpongeBob's loyalty, now he takes advantage of it. SpongeBob practically worships the guy, and Krabs just manipulates him, underpays him, and throws him under the bus whenever it's convenient. The charm is gone. What was once a greedy but lovable boss has turned into a one-note character with zero emotional weight. Want more convincing?
I don't want to say that they couldn't have done anything but this, but how do you keep that same character of, like, respect? Mr. Krabs has his flaws, but he has respect for SpongeBob, and they learn lessons, because eventually they would get rid of their flaws. Or not even get rid of their flaws, they would just lessen them to a point where it's like they can't keep doing the same story over and over again. So they had to change it to where they're able to just manipulate the characters to do whatever bit they want.
Proof? The official channel of SpongeBob SquarePants itself made a compilation clip of Best of Mr. Krabs being a dad a while ago. And guess what? There are no clips from season 9 or after. The most recent episode they used in the video is from Barnacle Face from season 8. They couldn't find a dad moment in the later seasons because there are no more wholesome moments after season 8. Just an old, greedy crustacean. And that's the issue. When every decision a character makes is about money, you can't tell real
$1 per footstep. That's kind of funny, though.
Stories with them anymore. We just know somewhere along the episode, he'll just stab someone in his back for a profit. Once SpongeBob became a billion-dollar brand, it's almost like Krabs' character turned into a parody of the show itself. Anything for $1. And when the character stops growing, the story stops mattering. There's nothing left to explore, just new ways for him to be a jerk. But speaking about exploration, there are no characters in the show who
I think it is. It's not even that the character needs to grow anymore. It's that they need to experience events that have some meaning outside of the episode itself, which is what adult Forever episodes do. They punch jokes. They have storylines. The characters never grow. They're always the same personality they'll always be. Like Peter and Lois and fucking Stewie Griffin. But they do commentary on modern events. So it's like they separate it from character growth and move it to, hey, we're making a message about like society itself. But they can't do that. You can't do that in a kids show.
And exploration better than Sandy Cheeks. Sandy is one of the most interesting characters in SpongeBob. As a kid, I just loved her simply because she's a tough character. She had big goals in mind, and we know she'll always come up with a plan to reach it. She is proud to be the first mammal to break the underwater ceiling, and she is not just smart, she's also a caring friend who is always ready to stop the chaos made by SpongeBob and Patrick. Sometimes she just throws—
Bro said baddie, Sandy Cheeks. When I was like 7, I probably had a crush on Sandy.
Parties and surprises for her closest friends.
Which is wild, because she's a squirrel.
Just like the chocolate balloon for Patrick on Valentine's Day. Another episode
spitting.
Such as Karate Choppers highlighted her stubbornness, and how she challenged SpongeBob in a way no one else did. And episodes like Texas showed her homesickness, her pride in where she came from. Behind all that muscle and big brain move, we could see her just wanting warmth every now and then. She added variety to the group. The land mammal with intellect and discipline, pushing SpongeBob and others to think, to train and improve. But as the seasons dragged on, Sandy faded into the background. She became the default science solution for every weird problem. Need a shrink ray? A cloning machine? A brain switcher? Call Sandy. The show stopped treating her like a character and started treating her like a tool. And the saddest part for me is that she loses the southern charm. Those adventurous spirits, the warm southern hospitality, and her appreciative moments are just gone. Well, at least she still has that southern Texas accent, but that alone isn't enough to showcase her character. She even rarely interacts meaningfully with the rest of the cast. The last time we could still see her having character is somewhere between season 7 and 8, with some episodes like...
Bro, so you're telling me like almost 10 seasons of the show, she just does fucking nothing but invent stuff?
Rodeo Days and Someone in the Kitchen with Sandy. There is some character depth there, but still not as good as the early seasons. And don't get me started with the Sandy Cheeks movie. Just... ugh.
Dude, they're coming out with shit I've never heard of before. The Sandy Cheeks movie. What do you think the rating of that is? Saving Bikini Bottom. Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie. Bro, it came out last year. It has a 29% audience score, but a 53% critic score. What critic is watching Sandy Cheeks movie?
Don't.
Go review Oppenheimer. What the fuck are we doing?
I don't even want to talk about that. But don't get me wrong. I do kind of understand the reason behind her changes. Sandy's rational character used to be the balance in the middle of the bizarre Bikini Bottom. She often challenges Spongebob and the others to be better. As the show leaned into the crazier sci-fi plots and most of the characters get simplified, they can't really make Sandy challenge them anymore. Instead, they made her help the chaos to be bigger every single time. Her personality didn't fit the new formula, so they boxed her.
Oh my god, the karate episode where they go through a tier, like a boss tier. Oh my god. Dude, I forgot so... I remember this being one of my favorite episodes.
Into one trait. Smart. Simple. Marketable. Forgettable. Sandy Cheeks went from being one of the show's most well-rounded personalities to someone who shows up when the writers need a Deus Ex squirrel. And when the show needed someone to be hated, they called Plankton. Plankton was never going to win, but that wasn't the point. He was 2 inches tall, owned the world's worst restaurant, and had one customer, a fake one. Similar to Squidward, Plankton's character often revolves around failure and insecurity. He was constantly trying to prove he was more than a loser. He wanted the Krabby Patty formula, sure, but what he really wanted was respect. And when you...
You know what I never understood about Plankton? And this is like a major plot flaw for me. I know it's a kid's show. He always wanted to steal the Krabby Patty formula. Couldn't get it. So he invented a machine where he could analyze a Krabby Patty and then just reconstruct it. But he always got stopped when he would take the burger. Why couldn't he just pay someone to go buy a Krabby Patty and then bring it to him? Like, that was... he would make inventions to, like, camouflage himself and go in and steal the Krabby Patty. Bro, just pay your friend to go fucking buy one and just walk it over. No one's gonna stop you. Callisto for the 3 new episode. Amazing World of Gumball was eating the red Spongebob. Couldn't make a social commentary on the world. They just won't. Zen expired for the sub rating for the 3. I know you've been stressed lately. Remember, we love you. Have you ever thought about stopping to read all donos only over a certain amount? We would rather you be healthier than read our messages. No, I like reading donos. Perilla, thank you for the 5. Sorry to interrupt. I'm dealing with a heartbreak right now. Don't know how to focus on myself. I only loved him more than myself, and he made me feel so happy. You shouldn't love anybody to the point where you have to rely on them entirely. Everything reminded me of him, and now he's gone. It hurts me, my soul, because he left me. I didn't understand him. He wanted space yesterday, but I was too stressed to give it to him. I wish I could have been perfect for him. You got to move on. If the relationship's over, it's over. It's going to take time, and I'm sorry you're going through that, but I don't really know how I could help you. You know, you take what you learned, and you bring it to the next relationship. That's all you could really do. Gee, thank you for the $1,000, but he's got access to $200,000 trust fund. I'm 18. I'm going to be 100% serious. Joshua with the 3. Well, you should use that wisely. Wii Sports Resort stream. There's a disc with both games on it. Leah and Joe Bar for the sub. Maybe I would have to buy a Wii. Cast for the 3. Pearls and Narcissist. Green Ba, your RB Maury, Fizzy Small, Yo-Yo, thank you for the raid again. Chris expired for the sub.
At Karen, his computer wife, you get some genuinely funny and emotional moments. It was dysfunctional, sure, but you could still feel for them. Episodes like FUN showed that he wasn't all evil. He was just desperate, and sometimes just sad. In the episode, SpongeBob sees through Plankton. He tries to be his friend, and for a minute, Plankton almost puts the evil aside, before his greed took over and ruined the friendship. That kind of story gave him layers. Sure, he was the antagonist, but you kind of wanted him to get one win, just once. Because sometime, someone has to teach that greedy crab a lesson, right?
Yeah, bro, that greedy crab a lesson, I remember getting into it too and being like, what the fuck is on that formula, bitch? I wanted to know so bad. I was like, what is the Krabby Patty formula? And they found it, and there was like some thing that was like redacted, and I remember being like, dude, what is that? What is that what is the secret ingredient?
There was also an episode where Plankton gave up on trying to steal the Krabby Patty recipe. He decides to shut down the Chum Bucket and open up a gift shop called Chumporium. He also manages to fix his relationship with Krabs and go to a carnival together. Both of them said sorry, and Krabs gave him the formula as a kind gesture. A good redemption story, in my opinion. Well, he's not really changed, technically, since, spoiler alert, the whole gift shop is a ruse, as a trick to soften up Krabs, making him hand over his recipe willingly. Fortunately, Krabs did outsmart him in the end.
I never give you the formula!
I don't remember this episode.
Still, a good arc for Plankton. It gives him some depth. But fast forward into the recent season.
Why don't we see other crabs? Yeah, that's the theory that the Krabby Patty secret formula is crab meat. But then also, why is his daughter a whale?
Plankton just became a one-liner joke. And not even a funny one. His plans stopped being clever, and his personality flattened. He's not insecure anymore. He's just loud, over the top, and constantly getting humiliated. The writers turned him into a one-trick pony. Step 1, making a scheme. Step 2, fail and get humiliated. Step 3, scream. That's it. But it gets worse. The dynamic with Karen, which used to be this funny, weird little marriage, turned into the same recycled gag. Plankton fucked up, Karen insults him, Plankton yells back, Karen's coming up with something, and repeat. Plankton's case is a tragedy in my opinion. He was a good character for the villain role. He is capable of showing so many emotions for a single-celled animal, especially with his long frenemy, Krabs. It could lead to something great once his character developed, but that takes time to build. And the new version of the show didn't want to build, it wanted to sprint. So Plankton stopped being sympathetic and started being a pity. Instead of growth, they gave him a loop, just reruns with new disguises. His character just stuck, like the show itself. These characters were pulled apart, torn down, and flattened piece by piece over the years. A cast of characters that once felt alive, just gone. It's clear that today's SpongeBob is made specifically for kids, and maybe that's the real reason we don't find the new ones enjoyable, because most of us who watched and loved early SpongeBob are not kids anymore.
I think that's true, but I feel like okay, this is going to sound crazy. It's not going to sound crazy. We watched, maybe we meaning me, because I don't know how you guys, a lot of you guys are younger than me. People that were born between like 1998 and 2006 watched Nickelodeon and Disney into like 13, 14 maybe, probably 12, 13, and then you stop watching it. Now, I feel like kids stop watching Nickelodeon and Disney when they're like 9 because it's so kiddish. There was like a level of entertainment for teenagers in Disney and Nickelodeon shows in like the 2010s. I think now Disney and Nickelodeon solely markets themselves towards like 10-year-olds and younger. Like they don't really make anything that's reasonably entertaining for anybody. Because, I mean, obviously they had like Disney XD and stuff, which was like meant for teens. But like even now, it's just like the shit they churn is just slop. It feels like I'm watching a Darman video. Ask, thank you for the 3. Watch Whistle and Diesel video, subscribe, game subscribe. If you have any videos you want to watch, games to play. Expired Chris Lucky and Imagine for the subclass over the 3. I already read that. All right, next video. Lock in. Your favorite YouTube channel is probably owned by private equity.
If you spend long enough on YouTube, there's now a very good chance that a substantial share of your watch time is going to channels partially or fully owned by private equity. Major firms operating in this space have raised billions of dollars collectively from companies like SoftBank, Amazon, Disney, Goldman Sachs, and Blackstone.
I'm going to butt in here as a creator and say I think that number's slightly skewed. Creators get reached out by private equity groups a lot, but the idea that the average YouTuber you watch is selling a portion of their channel to private equity is fairly inaccurate. Private equity groups will reach out to YouTubers and offer them lump sums of money for percentages of their revenue for periods of time. Some YouTubers take it, some don't. A lot never even get offers. Mr. Beast is one of those guys because Mr. Beast is one of the biggest YouTubers. He needs a lot of money for videos. So it's not absurd for a private equity group to go to Mr. Beast and go, hey, we'll give you fucking $50 million up front for 20% of your channel's revenue for a year or 2 years. Did you get an offer? I've never done private equity before, or I've never taken a private equity offer before. But I'm not saying that I never would. It's just like they basically come to you. It would be one of these groups. There's a few others as well. But they come to you and they go, hey, we want to own this. There's different offers they'll come to you for. They want to own usually a percentage of your channel's revenue for a set amount of time for a set lump of money. It's usually pretty straightforward. And there's like a recuperation fee. So if they're offering Mr. Beast like $50 million, they're probably going to want like a year of 20% of his revenue for a year. And they could recuperate that money plus some and get out of the deal early. So say they're like, we're going to give Mr. Beast $50 million. We're going to own 20% of your ad revenue for 12 months. We're either going to run that whole 12-month period and recoup not all of our money back or all of it back. Or you'll get out early and we'll recuperate $55 million. So they'll make 10% on his fucking channel, in return.
Major firms operating in this space.
That's just an example. I don't know if he's ever been offered that amount of money or if he's taken them. But like bigger channels are usually the ones that take those offers that need a lot of money to function.
Have raised billions of dollars collectively from companies like SoftBank, Amazon, Disney, Goldman Sachs, and Blackstone, and they are using that money to acquire YouTube channels as strategic investments. According to my own analytics, where YouTube lets me see what my audience watches, some of these names should be familiar to you. Task and Purpose, Veritasium, Donut Media, Simple History, Fern, Fireship, Economics.
Fern is owned by private equity. Really? Okay, but it's not the whole channel. Like, most private equity groups are going to reach out to a creator for at most 50%. They'll do a half and half split for like a 1 to 3 year term. And they'll own a percentage of your channel.
Mentor, Pilot, Futurism, Astrum, The Drive, and History Hit have all publicly been acquired by private equity. Outside of the nerd corner of YouTube, some of the biggest names in the space, including Cocomelon, Colin and Samir, The Theorist, and Dude Perfect, have all...
That doesn't really surprise me. The Theorists probably sold their channel, like sold, 30% of their channel to private equity for like $100 million. Like, they have like 10 channels. That shit is food theorists, makeup theorists, fucking game theory. All those channels looped together probably sell for so much money. Dude Perfect as well.
Also, all partially or completely been acquired.
Dude Perfect, yeah. They don't have say, bro. I feel like the way not the way he's describing it, the way a lot of people perceive it is like, if a private equity group goes to a YouTuber like Dude Perfect and buys 30% of their channel, they have a say in their content. They don't have a say in anything. They don't do anything. They just own part of your channel and realistically float a lot of that money to make, interest on it. What is private equity? There's private equity firms, which is like groups. It's like a company that invests for YouTube. It would invest in anything really, but invests in this specific instance creators and tries to make money for themselves and investors. So like I could go to a private equity group or start my own and invest a certain amount of money into something and be like usually a pool of investors. Like I could get into private equity with like 10 other creators, and me and 10 creators would each give $500,000. We would have $5 million, and we would go to a company, buy a percentage of that company or whatever it is, or even loan out that money and then get a return on that later on and then split it evenly.
Also only the acquisitions that we know about because they chose to be upfront with their audience. There's no law requiring these.
Yeah, they do. It's not just YouTube shit. Private equity is something that's existed far before YouTube.
Deals to be publicly disclosed, and as you'll soon see, there are some really good reasons why they might want to keep it quiet. So why is this a problem? It's easy to say that private equity is just inherently bad, and to be fair, it's had some problems. But that shouldn't be enough by itself. Instead, what you should know is why private equity firms have suddenly become so interested in YouTube channels.
Because YouTube's the new media. YouTube is the new way to make money in the social space. YouTube, it's usually slept on by how, like, the average user doesn't think about it, and they perceive YouTube separate from, like, Netflix, Hulu, HBO, and all those other places. No. YouTube deadass pulls business from Disney. YouTube pulls business from Netflix. YouTube pulls business from HBO. YouTube is such a big platform with so many creators that people will, on average, spend more time on YouTube than other fucking platforms combined. So people see that and go, this is the next thing. So they want to get in on it.
And what this will likely mean for the future of the content that you watch. Big YouTube channels are really just businesses in the entertainment industry. Even completely independent creators still need to cover their own living expenses, and creating content does cost money. Film equipment, software, location shoots, perhaps a hired video editor, it all adds up.
But those are usually, I think it needs to be noted, the average person taking, like all YouTubers at some point could potentially get a private equity offer, but the average channel that's taking private equity deals are channels that have 10 editors, film cameras, and other shit. Ad incoming? I don't think an ad's incoming. I think this is literally just roping into private equity. Because if you're a channel that needs a lot of money to function, you're basically taking like a low-risk loan from private equity. Because they're giving you money up front. You're not required to pay them back, but you're roped into a deal where they own a percentage of your channel. You're getting money, and if it fails, it fails. What's a loan? You're fucking kidding me.
A lot of medium-sized creators.
I'm not even answering that.
Barely.
If you don't know what a loan is, bro, you're too young to watch my channel.
Scrape by, paying themselves fairly modestly. And in the interest of transparency, even this channel, which now has over 70,000 subscribers, has lost money most months since I started it. Anyway, all of this can be fixed with scale. As creative brands grow, their revenue increases while their costs stay relatively stable. At a certain size, most of these channels can generate strong cash flows and predictable profits, which should make them desirable investable assets like any other business, right? Well, not exactly. These operations are incredibly risky, even by small to medium business standards. Most of them depend on a single platform for the majority of their revenue, and these platforms can ban, restrict, or moderate their content overnight, often.
That is the appeal of it for creators, is that it's a safe bet. When private equity comes to you, they're gonna make money on you. They're running statistics on your content. They're betting you're going to make more than they give you, and they're going to get a better return on their interest. They're going to get a better ROI than they would playing the market. And they're probably going to float your money when they get it, which basically means before they pay you out, they invest it themselves, kind of like banks do. Banks float your money. That's how banks make money, if you didn't know that. What is ROI? Return on interest. Banks float your money. When you get paid Like, before you move money, if you just leave money in a bank, they're floating your shit. They fucking take your money and invest it. If you have 100 grand in a bank account, they don't have that money right now. That money's in the markets. They have a percentage of that money legally because of previous problems with banks where they've collapsed because they don't have your money when you ask for it. But they use your money and invest your money to make money on your money, because why the fuck would they take your money for free and keep it safe for free? They're using it. And that's how they make a profit. But private equity might do that. Depends on the company. Anyways, the reason it makes sense for a creator is because you're betting like a portion of your channel in case you fall off, right? In case your videos underperform, in case you get demonetized, age restricted, struck, removed, right? Whatever it is. Like, private equity gives those creators a safety net of pay if anything goes wrong.
With little to no
but then they could lose money in the long term.
Explanation. SunnyV2 and about a dozen copycat channels have built their entire career on saying that the algorithm stopped recommending their content, because it genuinely happens so often. On top of that, most of these businesses depend on a single personality to host the content, even if...
I believe that... Hold up. Chris is calling me. I can't answer right now. What was I saying? So he was talking about how like creators will talk about how YouTube starts recommending their content. It's because your content sucks. You have time. You have time. I'm not acting like I make prime content, but Quebble Cop's channel falling off was not a shock. Okay, Quebble Cop's channel doing worse, and then him pivoting to AI and it taking a shit could have been fucking. You don't need to be a genie to know that was gonna fucking happen. Okay, like you have time. If your videos do bad, like you don't fall off in a day. Your videos will do bad, and then they do worse, and then they do worse, and then they do worse, and then they do worse. And you have time to go, fuck, I need to change something. And if you don't, and they keep doing worse, you fall off. Everybody has bad months. YouTube's like this. Twitch more like that because it's dependent on if people are busy, what time of year it is. So your views might just be down, not even because you're not entertaining, but because people can't watch you live. YouTube, people can watch whenever. So your views are going to go up and down. But if you have 3 bad months in a row, 5 bad months in a row, that's on you, right? 1 bad month in a row, circumstantial. 2, 3, I need to change something. 4, I'm being lazy. 5, I've fallen off, right? Like that's, and then you're just not changing your content.
To host the content.
Bro, throw it in sub only. Motherfuckers are just being stupid. Arsenal, Nick, Bryn, Ingenious, Shibby, and Gooch for the sub. RT, thank you for the thray. Not sure what you said about the other dono. Love you, man. Awesome for the thray. Can I get a ban from your Discord? I don't know. Always in Cletus for the sub. Ask for the thray. All right. Just for the sub. I don't control on bans. Lock in.
Even if there's a larger team working behind the scenes. Human beings, especially those that share their lives online, can get burnt out, get embroiled in controversies, or just fall out of favor with an audience that outgrows them. Typically, the wealthy investors and lenders that give money to private equity firms
think that's
for them
really, really true of like kid gaming channels, Minecraft YouTubers specifically. The majority of like Minecraft YouTubers fell off not because they weren't entertaining, but because their audience literally grew up and they didn't with them. That's what you want. You want to be Markiplier. Markiplier is like the Mount Rushmore of creators. He made content, his audience grew up with him, and he grew up with his audience, and fucking like aged and roped in new viewers at the same time. That's what you want to do. Or you can just keep making content, you lose those people, and then bring in new ones. It's what avenue you want to go down. I've tried to age slightly. My content is less immature than it was. I'm not saying I don't make brain rot jokes. I'm not saying I don't have a young audience. But if you watch my older videos, they were worse. They were more kiddish. I was a teenager, right? I think I've aged slightly and my audience has aged slightly with me. But then there's creators that stay in the same niche and then they lose audience members as they gain new ones. You really want, in my opinion, to age with your audience. K for the sub, just for the sub.
To make their acquisitions would be...
What about Jay? Jay who?
Scared away by these business fundamentals, but over the past 5 years, a few things have changed which kicked off the great buy-up. The first major change was that creators demonstrated their ability to scale their own brands to generate profits beyond sponsored segments, audience donations, and integrated platforms. Some of these brands have been very successful, others not so much. Even if Beast Burger and
isn't Prime failing?
Prime Energy completely implode, they were a test case that showed that real...
Yeah, but Prime was only doing so well because of the marketing as well. Prime did really well on marketing, but I'm pretty sure their sales have just been plummeting since they've been reducing their marketing.
Real brands can be launched.
Is Mr. Beast Burger still open? I don't know. I don't know how Lunchly does either. I never know the sales numbers on that shit. I would assume Prime makes a decent bit of money still, but I don't know if they're like a profitable company.
Through clowns on the internet. If that initial success could be paired with a private equity team that actually knew how to run a business, theoretically, then there would be some real money to be made. Another big push that's come from the fact that legacy media, which is large, centralized, rigid, and needs to be broadly appealing, is losing out to millions of individual creators who are flexible, can make content specifically targeted to particular audiences without worrying about tarnishing the reputation of a gigantic media company. These companies now have to fight for advertiser dollars, which are being split over more mediums than ever. Now, this trend is nothing new. Google has been the largest advertising platform in the world for more than a decade now.
No fucking way. Share of advertising dollars is that digital media has skyrocketed that much.
But another threat these legacy businesses are facing is the competition for talent. A lot of people would rather operate their own YouTube channel over working on something like an old school TV show.
Dude, you even see that with like modern, like even dude, like Animal Planet shit. Forrest Galante has his own YouTube channel. He doesn't fucking do TV shows anymore. Like nature documentary shit has moved to YouTube. Like stuff you would always assume will always be cable is no longer cable. Like they're just like, hey, I'm going to make my own YouTube channel. I'll just do this instead. Like the Outdoor Boys. People watch the Outdoor Boys and Forrest Galante more than they'd watch fucking Discovery Channel. Like they'd just rather watch YouTubers do it.
In these companies are...
What's cable? Cable TV. Mr. Joe for the 5. Been watching for almost 4 years. It's crazy to see how much you've matured and improved as a person and philosopher. I'm truly amazed at how far you've come. Thank you. Jude, KTTK for the sub. Justin Lil Biggie for the sub.
Are worried about these threats, and they're
Chief for the sub.
Putting pressure on company leadership to do something about it. One of the central focuses of Netflix Q1 memo to their investors was reassurance that they are not having any problems finding advertisers, and they presented a better opportunity to creators to make their show through them rather than...
Well, you know what it is too? Advertisers make more money in return on YouTube channels. If you're watching cable, they throw such a broad net out, right? If you're watching a show, they don't know if you're the demographic they're looking for. They're just throwing it out there, right? Because you own a TV. Maybe they have some info on you and some base statistics, but the more you go into social media, the more they're able... This shit's boring. I don't give a fuck, YO. I'm banning your dumbass. I don't give a fuck. I literally said in the beginning of stream, I don't care if people don't like this video. I want to watch it because I think it's fucking interesting. You have 3 chats in my whole fucking chat all the time. Bye. Anyways, as I was saying... fucking annoying as shit. I don't care. If you don't like it, leave. I will always say that shit. I appreciate anybody that stays, but if you're gonna fucking be annoyed, there's a difference between asking me to switch topics or be like, hey, can you do this another day? Versus literally just complaining in my chat. Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, there is such a difference in marketing value for creators and social media platforms comparable to modern, old TV or even streaming services. Yeah, they know your profile. They might know the account and the stuff that you watch, so they're able to market to you better. But, like, it's so much easier to market products to you if you're doom scrolling TikTok, liking hyper niche videos about specific topics, travel places, products, things, games. They could fucking take all that info, compile a profile on you as an individual and then sell you as a group to an ad company that's going to market those ads specifically to you. They're going to sell more and they're going to sell them for higher value too. Same thing with YouTube channels. If you watch Joe Bartolozzi, if you watch Mr. Beast, you're a specific type of person. Even if you're much different than other people that watch the same person, you fit in a broad marketing category that casts a smaller net, which will have a higher turnover rate for advertisers than something like cable, where you're on Wheel of Fortune and they're just throwing out State Farm ads and random shit that's just getting shown to a million people, but only really matters to like 50,000.
And produce it independently. Other legacy companies have started taking a simpler approach. If you can't beat them, buy them. Even if the business case is not that strong, a company like Disney giving a few $1 million to a private equity firm that specializes in acquiring YouTube channels lets their executives say that they are prepared for the threats that new media presents.
I wonder what Disney really has their foot in the door for buying YouTube channels. I wonder how they'd take that though. Like the way that I've always understood and obviously seen it in my career, private equity always just owns a percentage of your ad revenue and in return makes some interest on it. I wonder if Disney, though, would want some sort of say in the channel. Because Disney, you know, is a very controlling company. And they do what they get done what they want you to do. So I wonder if Disney was ever going to a private equity group, if they would want to buy more than half of a channel so they could just tell you what to do.
Appeasing shareholders is often a lot more important to senior management than making genuinely good business decisions, especially when an investment of a few $1 million is actually quite cheap.
Mods, can we ban the people saying 41? Those at Cooper for the sub, check in at TD for the sub, or time out for like a month. If Mr. Beast isn't worried about falling off, why would he deal with private equity? He would just be losing money. They're probably giving him good rates because he is such a reliable YouTuber, so they're probably making a lesser interest than they would on other creators, and he needs the capital to make those videos. Mr. Beast can't wait 3 months to get $20 million in fucking YouTube ad rev so he can continue making 5, 10 videos at a time. He needs the lump sum of money. Throw it in sub only and keep it in sub only for the rest of the video. Throw it in sub only and keep it in sub only the rest of the video. There we fucking go. I don't care, chat. I'm not dealing with the brain rot right now. Mr. Beast doesn't need the money up front personally, but he needs that. It's Mr. Beast. It's valuable for him. I don't know. This guy's saying Mr. Beast takes these offers. I don't know if he actually does, but I'm assuming he does because this guy seems like he's done research. It makes sense for Mr. Beast, who averagely spends $1 million, $2 million on a video, to take 6 months of advanced pay for his channel and then fork over, 20, 30% of the channel revenue, because then he's able to juice 10, 20 videos at a time and churn out more content, make more money, go bigger, go better, and get even larger, because now he has that juice capital to further advance his content and not only make, whatever company's investing him a lot of money, but also make himself more.
For around 2020, old school media companies were still going about this in their own old school way. They would invest in traditional companies that just happen to have a new media digital first focus. Think of businesses like Vice, BuzzFeed, Mashable, and Vox.
BuzzFeed. Ugh.
These brands would build their own.
What was that one channel? Was it BuzzFeed? What was that one channel that tried to sell their regular YouTube content as a subscription service and wrote it off as a benefit? And it shot in their face immediately. Was that BuzzFeed? No. I feel like it was those guys that did like food reviews or something. It wasn't BuzzFeed. They maybe made murder videos. Was it Watcher? I don't know. They were like, hey, instead of doing YouTube content, we're going to make it $10 a month. But trust me, it's going to be way better videos. I was like, bro, you're just charging now for people to watch your shit.
IP and primarily rely on platforms like Facebook and YouTube to distribute it, but behind the scenes,
which didn't really make sense to me, because even if you had, like, say 30% of your like, say I stopped making content on YouTube and I started making YouTube, like, my videos on another platform that I charged a fee for, even if you had to pay $10 a month for it, I would make less money than it, because not everybody would do it. Like, only 20% of my audience would transfer over. I'd get less views, and I'm not marketing my own content. You would just be paying to see it. Like, I don't understand the purpose in trying to even go that avenue.
They were still operated.
Like, at that point, you could just do MCN deals too. That's another thing that he's not mentioning. I don't know if we'll mention it later on. MCN deals are like another big thing in private equity and just like ad space groups, is that they'll sell, like, usually roped into these is like, hey, we're going to sell premium ads on your content. So, like, YouTube as a company goes out to a bunch of brands, or brands go to them and they sell ads in your videos. MCN companies and companies in general can go to other company or go to other brands and be like, hey, we'll do the same thing but better. So they'll sell higher valued ads in your videos that pay, say, a cent instead of half a cent. And so they'll make more money on the back end as well by selling premium ads in your content looped in with the percentage that they owe or own.
Like traditional media companies, with a lot of staff, city offices, and all the expenses that come with them.
But they never do. No, MCNs can fail, but there would not be MCNs if they always failed. Why would there be companies that sell ads competing against YouTube in YouTube videos if they didn't make money? There has to be some level of success for companies to be forcibly going, hey, I'll sell ads better than YouTube does. And they do at times, not always, but there are like private equity groups that can sell ads at a higher rate than YouTube does themselves and still put them in YouTube as a regular ad. Like you in your consumer career have probably seen MCN ads and you just don't know. It might be an ad for a brand you've never seen before, or an ad for anything, maybe something that you have. And an MCN might have jammed that video in, or jammed that ad in a video versus YouTube selling it themselves.
Which meant these were terrible businesses. They would burn cash, and they were much more expensive to acquire in the first place. Vice Media was once valued at over $5.5 billion. That's an unreasonable valuation for an organization that primarily distributed through a YouTube channel and a Facebook page. These are pages that get similar monthly viewership to Atriox's daily clips channel. Now,
yo, actually though, oh my God, I watch Atriox clips. Bro, Atriox's clip channel gets as many views as me a lot of the time, but he has like, dude, he gets more views than subs.
Now, clearly these are not the same thing, but one is obviously much cheaper to operate.
Oh, one's cheaper to operate and honestly more reliable. If you were an investor, it makes more sense to pay Atriox for a percentage of his channel than BuzzFeed, because BuzzFeed needs a lot of money to operate. Their videos take a long time to make. Atriox can pump out 3 videos a day at his desk. So if you're an investor and you're like, I have $1 million, who should I give this to? You might actually start going to Twitch streamers like Atriox instead of BuzzFeed or Vice.
And the other, on top of being generally more advertiser friendly. The channel Modern NBA did a deep dive into these companies and their respective failures. He did a better job than I could ever do, so instead of retreading the same details, I'll just leave a link to that video if you're
I think BuzzFeed and Vice failed because they lost the plot. They got too big. They had so many employees, so many new niche millennial ideas, and it just became unbearable. It used to be like cool, and I think they got into the space early, and then everybody started doing their job better than them.
Interested in that comedy of errors. But the point is, the legacy media companies that wanted to protect themselves against a wave of social media by throwing money at it needed a new solution. Instead of investing in companies to build an online audience, they could just invest in private equity firms that would buy out people who already had an audience. And then there's the private equity industry itself. Over the past 20 years, the scale of private equity operations has increased from less than a measly $1 trillion to over $12 trillion today in America.
Private equity is that what? The gradual growth of private markets gained momentum during the pandemic. Private equity, private debt, and real assets. Dude, private equity has that much ownership.
Alone, according to Preqin, a data firm who are themselves owned by BlackRock. With this much money to manage, they've simply run out of normal businesses to acquire. New private equity managers who want to start their own funds are entering a very saturated market, and one of the best ways to differentiate themselves is to invest in businesses that nobody else understands.
Yeah, because private equity is in every business market you could find. Like, you could get into private equity and start, having ownership in a random city in fucking, Idaho. But you could also go, I know a lot about YouTubers. There's not many other private equity groups dealing with YouTubers. So this is a very lucrative market right now. I think 10 years down the line, private equity in YouTuber ownership is going to be so normalized that there's just tens of companies that do it.
But
right now, it's new.
Public releases, the biggest firms in the YouTube space have collectively raised about $2 billion and borrowed an additional $2 billion on top of that. So it's still quite a small part of the overall private equity market, but that's still more than enough money for it to become an increasingly large part of your home screen. Now, for the creators themselves, this is a perfectly understandable decision to make. Online fame can literally collapse at any second for any reason.
Bro, but private equity can also go to channels that don't even post anymore. Because you got to think, bro, name a channel that's like a back roll of videos from 15 years ago, but they still get views. Obviously, it's not something that's as lucrative as somebody that's still actively posting, but YouTube channels make money long after they're gone. You could go, they could go to Corey Kenshin, who doesn't really post much now, and go, hey, Corey, we're going to give you $10 million for a percentage of your channel. And he could just go, yeah, sure. Vsauce still. Vsauce still gets probably $1 million+ per year just off of the sheer size of his channel.
So if they can sell part or all of their channel and secure that bag, I don't think anybody should begrudge them for doing it. But it will inevitably change their content slowly but surely over time. One of the things that made YouTube channels a viable investment in the first place was their low overheads. A team of 2 or 3 people with off-the-shelf equipment can produce content that would have taken a whole studio at legacy media companies. But when a channel is acquired by a private equity company...
I think that's also why a lot of people want to become Twitch streamers more than YouTubers, because I think a lot of people perceive YouTubers as needing a lot more equipment, editors, and shit like that, whereas Twitch streaming is growth off of just sitting in your room. Not always. You have IRL streamers and shit, but the majority of streamers start out by literally just playing video games and talking.
They become the overhead. The analysts, business development managers, strategists, and acquisition teams all need to be paid as well. This means that to maintain profitability...
YouTuber is for some reason known as a harder job. I think gaining success on YouTube is harder than Twitch. I'll say that. I think you could become a mildly successful Twitch streamer if you're clip farming and posting. Meaning, I think you could have 100 viewers on Twitch, but the equivalent in pay would be 50K subs on YouTube with 10K views a video. You're probably not getting that. If you're a 100 viewer Twitch streamer, you could probably make an annual salary. But on YouTube, it's a lot harder to get that. I hard disagree. You're allowed to hard disagree. I think it depends on what channel you're going for. But I've seen a lot more. Let's just put it this way. Most YouTubers that are successful could be successful streaming. There are a lot of Twitch streamers that have dead YouTube channels. there's less Twitch streamers than there are YouTubers, but I think that's because Twitch doesn't make as much money. I think if the money was here, there would be people here. I'm not saying the money's not here, but I'm saying YouTube makes way more money than Twitch. It's not even close. Like if you're a top 10 YouTuber, you make way more than any of the top 10 Twitch streamers. Not necessarily on sponsorship rev, but just off of raw income. Like you're huge. So it's like YouTube's, because it's more lucrative, I think more people try to do it. And I think you could have like maybe easier small level success, but I'm saying like money. Like making money on YouTube, I think is harder than making money on Twitch. There are people that can average 50 viewers on Twitch and do this as a part or full-time job comparable to people that do YouTube. It is a lot harder and more money and time intensive to get into YouTube.
The channel needs to make more revenue, which means more videos, more questionable sponsorships, more products.
Like let me put it this way. I post every fucking day on Main and Gaming, or almost every day, like 5 to 7 days a week. I pay my editors. I don't pay anybody to stream. I can stream myself. You could stream yourself. You could edit your videos yourself, but you're not going to be cranking out 2 videos a day editing yourself and streaming. Like that would take hours to do. So you need to offload a lot of work. YouTube, you usually have more money involved.
The investors in these firms also want to see consistent and continuous growth, which means they need to play the YouTube game with low-risk videos that are guaranteed to do well with the algorithm, accompanied.
How much money would you accept to take a percentage of your channel? It would depend. Are they taking 20%, 40%, 50%? Are they doing it on back roll for like, older videos? Are they doing it for modern content, all of my channel? For how long? For my main, my gaming, my philosophy, and my VOD, or just 1 or 2 or 3, right? Like then you get into the real statistics on like, it's not as simple as them coming to you and just going, hey, we're gonna pay you this for 10% of this. They're going to do a deep dive on your analytics. They're going to estimate your growth. They're going to estimate how much money you're going to make in the longevity of your channel and risk factors. And then they're going to go to you with an offer that is fairly reasonable for you to maybe be roped in, but definitely reasonable enough for them to recuperate their money before the term's over.
By hyper-optimized thumbnails. Ultimately, what this means for
What about Patreon? I don't do Patreon.
you is that the content you watch is going to become more generic and safe within the parameters of what will optimize retention. This also works with a private equity business strategy called rolling up, where multiple acquired channels will share management resources with one another. So if one thing works well for one channel, it'll be rolled out amongst all the channels in a portfolio. Now, independent YouTubers are
And then they could sell you at bulk in MCN deals. They acquire, let's just do an example. They acquire 20%, 10% of my channel, Jinxie's channel, Queso, and Kai. They can now loop that together and go to firms, or not firms, companies, and go, we'll put premium ads in these people's channels. That's what management groups do, right? Like, I'm managed by a company that ropes me and 10 other streamers to a video game, and they go, we'll do an ad with you. We have 10 guys ready to do it today. And then you get more money. Because then you have those companies, Night Media manages me. Night Media manages like a lot of streamers So when I do a gaming ad, it's not shocking that there's 5-10 other streamers doing the same fucking ad. Because they went to the company and said, hey, we have 10 people that are ready to do it on this day. And then it's easier for the company to do that because they only have to go through one middleman versus individually going to 10 different managers or creators. Because then the management will figure it out. They'll do the negotiation and the money rather than 10 different negotiations, 10 different YouTubers, 10 different blanks.
Are absolutely guilty of this as well. I've personally...
Like when I did the Marvel Rivals ad, most of those people weren't managed by the company I'm managed by. But a lot of them were managed by similar people. Like, if I had to guess, genuinely, that Marvel Rivals ad I did, there were 6 teams of 6 people. So there were 36 streamers. Of those 36 streamers, I would say 20 of them were probably managed by 4 different companies. and then the rest were random, right? So those people, it was easy for them to go, hey, we'll give you this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy to do this ad for Rivals.
I spent many late nights making minor adjustments to my thumbnails to help my videos do just a little bit better. But without a bloated team that needs to be paid and investors that need to be kept happy, independent creators do have a little bit more leeway to take some creative risks from time to time. Rolling up and hyper-optimization is only going to accelerate a trend of every single piece of content on YouTube moving towards the same generic but effective formula. This is amplified by another problem that comes when the channel turns into an asset, which is that they typically want to move away from the focus on a single creator. For more than a decade, a channel like Veritasium has been focused on the host, Dr. Derek Muller. For a lot of regular viewers, Dr. Muller
never knew his name. I look at him and I go, that's Veritasium. I go, that's that guy's name. That's Veritasium. Dr. Muller. That's this dude's name. That's Veritasium. What's his first name? I don't know. That's Mr. Veritasium.
Veritasium. But if you've been watching the channel recently, you'll notice that new
Vsauce. Hey, Vsauce. Michael here. I know Michael because he says it every video. But because there's also 3 different Vsauces. And they always go, hey, Vsauce Jake here. Hey, Vsauce Michael here.
Hosts are slowly being introduced, so the whole operation isn't as singularly focused on one personality. The business case is that it cuts down on something called key man risk, which is where the entire operation depends on one single person to continue. Since Veritasium isn't actually Derek's business anymore, there's nothing to stop him restarting a new channel from scratch.
Wait, what?
Or just retiring, since presumably he made millions of dollars from the acquisition in the first place. For other channels, this has already happened. If you search "why I left blank" in the YouTube search bar, there are endless videos from former personalities behind big channels talking about why they're suddenly showing up on a completely new channel. A common theme among most of them is that it wasn't their channel anymore. Most of these splits seem pretty amicable, often with the old channel commenting words of support under the video itself, but obviously this is still a real problem behind the scenes. After losing their host,
well, they lose more and more percentage of their channel, and then they lose creative input, and that's why they want to get the fuck out of there, is because they don't control the channel anymore.
A lot of these channels have suffered from reduced viewership, and people are far less likely to directly support channels through merch or paid memberships when they know it's really just a faceless investment firm on the other side of the transaction.
That's true.
As this industry matures, we're more likely to see more onerous, non-compete contracts from acquired channels and a continuation of a trend towards commercially viable, predictable, and safe content over the unique and creative content that made YouTube.
I think he's wrong. I don't think he's showing private equity, yeah, wants to acquire more YouTube channels, but I don't think they're doing it in a way of trying to control the content they create, rather just make money on YouTubers using like lump-based ownership to sell to advertisers and make interest on the money they give them.
So compelling in the first place. Now go and watch this video next to understand the...
All right, well, that was a fun video. Thomas for the sub for the 3. I've been watching this since 2023, just turned 18. Happy birthday, Nelson, for the 3. Did you see Adapt reacting to you watching the College versus Dropout? No. Nonchalant and Totally for the sub. Joel for the 3. Where's that? Vintage and Todd for the sub. Jake for the sub. Cardinals for the 5 gifted. Key, thank you for the 11 subs. Thank you if you got a sub. Thank you for the 11 gifted subs. Dexter and Cardinal for the sub. Joel, thank you for the 1,000 biddies. M. JN, Panda, and Rusty for the sub. Cardinal for the 3. Would you ever play Batman Arkham Knight? No. Those for the sub. Cooper and Chicken for the sub. TD for the sub. Yeet for the 3. And Mike for the sub. All right, I need to piss, and then we're hopping into the next video. Count me down. Oh. Dude. I had a pee so bad. And then Brooke scared the shit out of me. Mike and Axe for the sub. Okay. Oh, lock in. The most painful motorcycle deaths. Local for the 5. Grounded would be a fire game. I played Grounded 1, not finishing it. Grounded 2, I can't play on Monday because Zusi can't, but I would be down to play it another day. I've already played it, though, before. Today we're doing reacts. We probably got 1 or 2 more videos that we could squeeze in. Then I got a dip. That's why we're live early today. Tomorrow I'm going to be live at 2. We were going to do Grounded 2, but now we're not. So we're going to be doing Slime Rich or random games like Nightclub Sim and other random games, probably Roblox and Fortnite potentially. Tuesday we're going to be doing an early noon stream. Going to be Sim Game, Horror Game, Random Game Day, possibly with chat as well. For like 4.5, 5 hours because I got a hot tub stream. I'm appearing on Chris's channel later that night. Wednesday is a 2 p.m. horror game day. Thursday, I'm going to be live at like 10 in the morning doing an early react for like 3.5, 4 hours because I got to dip so I could commentate a slap fight on Friday, which I'm not streaming but will be on YouTube. Saturday is going to be Storytime Gaming and Reacts, and next Sunday is going to be an early react as well. Not switching back to the school's year stream schedule until the 25th, but we'll start streaming a little bit early, or a little bit later, the 18th at like 3:30 on weekdays. School year stream schedule, I do 4:30 EST weekdays, 2 p.m. weekends. Mister for the sub, Bear for the sub. Lock in, and Mafia drops in like a week and a half, so we're going to be playing that too, the new Mafia. The most painful motorcycle deaths.
The Face Incident. In the summer of 2021, on a remote highway in Turkey, a young man deeply in love with his motorcycle woke up to a nice sunny day and decided that it was the best time to take his bike out for a spin. A nice leather jacket with protective boots, gloves, and a helmet was what this man quickly threw on before going out for the ride. Just kidding, he decided that he didn't want to wear any of that since it's a hot summer day. But on the bright side, at least he decided to keep his helmet on, right? After making sure that he was...
Isn't it like just like how you have to wear your seatbelt when you're in a car? Isn't it a legality, at least in the United States, that you have to wear a helmet when you're on a motorcycle? Not when you're riding like a bicycle, but like if you're on like a street bike, like you need a helmet.
Wearing no protective gear at all.
Because you're fucking dying. I mean, motorbikes, if you get in a high-speed collision on a highway, you're dead. But on a motorbike, you know, if you fall off and you have your helmet, you're more likely to live than, you know, your head smack in the fucking pavement. State to state. I think if you're riding a motorcycle on a highway and you're not wearing a helmet, that's just like idiot shit. I don't ride, like, do you guys wear a helmet when you ride a bicycle? You should. I don't. But if I was riding a motorcycle, I feel like I would need to wear a helmet.
This rider would then take his sport bike for a nice calm ride of 120 miles per hour. After hitting the highways, the rider couldn't contain himself and began
120? 120 before the highways?
Speeding as fast as possible on his bike. However, unbeknownst to him, a steep turn with a guardrail would appear on the highway out of nowhere. Unable to correct his path in...
It's not even the steep turns for me. Whenever I see videos of guys like running it on a highway going like 130, 140, I know you're going fast, so you're like somewhat more stable before you're wobbling. Like we're at wobbling speed where you can't control it. But if you hit a pebble, aren't you just crashing? If you're in a car and you're going 140, you hit a pebble, you might rock a little bit, but you're a fat-ass tire. Like, if you hit a fucking rock on a highway, you're dead, right? Like, you're not driving over that.
Time, he was flung from the bike and hurled face first into the corner of a steel guardrail. The impact was so violent that it completely removed the entire front of his head and face. His eyes, nose, jaw, and facial skin were instantly torn away, leaving only the back of his skull intact. Bystanders who arrived moments later could hardly process what they were seeing. It looked less like an accident and more like a war zone. They searched for his body, and upon a glimpse, were instantly traumatized since it didn't really look like a human anymore. Bystanders did what they could, but unfortunately, he never had a chance. Emergency responders...
Bro, because you're hitting that shit high speeds. I feel like it's fairly common, too, for people to get, like, straight up decapitated on motorcycles. Because if you get in a car crash with a car and your neck region hits anything, it's coming right off, like a bobblehead.
Pronounced him unresponsive at the scene.
Not that common. Bro, I'm not saying common like every other car crash. I'm saying you would assume that getting decapitated on a motorcycle is very, very rare, but it happens a lot more than you think it would.
This next situation falls just past midnight on April 1st, 2025, in Phuket, Thailand. The streets were mostly empty, the air was heavy, and it was the kind of night that felt slower than it actually was. But not for one guy. This rider was flying down Bypass Road on a red and black
Oh my god, on a wet road.
Honda Forza. Probably just out for a ride, maybe trying to clear his head, maybe just pushing the throttle for the thrill of it. Whatever the reason, he was moving fast. Very fast. Then, in a split second, everything went wrong. He lost control of the bike, and with no time to correct and no time to react, he slammed straight into an electricity pole. The crash wasn't just bad, it was horrific. The impact was so violent that it cut his body in half. His upper half was found under the pole. His lower half? Thrown almost 200 feet down the road. His heart and
200 feet? Like he hit the pole sideways and it split him in half?
organs were scattered across the scene, and somehow his helmet was still on, but it didn't save him. Not from that. They later confirmed he was a Russian national. They never released his name and just let his story be another brutal reminder
Is that a piece of the bike?
of how unforgiving speed can be. You always think it won't happen to you, until it does. The haircut incident.
Oh no.
In Manacapuru, Brazil, a small riverside town that doesn't usually make international headlines would go viral for once, but for all the wrong reasons. A man was riding his motorcycle through the city streets, and from the looks of it, he wasn't really going slow. While another biker was trying to make a left turn, the man unknowingly would get into a head-on collision with him. And the crash would be so forceful that it would launch him right off of his bike, straight onto his head. And surprisingly...
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! And his head scrapes the asphalt and it peels his fucking skin off.
The accident wasn't too detrimental. He only suffered a couple of cuts and sprains to his body. That's what I would say if he was wearing a helmet. But once again, this rider decided to ride without one. So... Instead, when he crashed and landed on his head, the force of the impact was so intense that it ripped the skin right off his scalp. It wasn't just a cut or a gash. His scalp was completely peeled back, exposing raw bone. And when I say raw bone, I literally mean that his skull, muscle, and the whole horrifying anatomy of a human head were exposed to the world. A lot of people were confused by the bizarre nature of the accident and couldn't really understand how it could happen to a person. But horrifyingly enough, it happens a lot. The injury is called degloving. Imagine the skin on your body being torn off like a glove. Probably not the best thing to imagine, but that's what doctors describe.
I mean, the skin on your head's got to be really thin too, right? Like, I can feel, like, you can feel, I feel like if you literally just went like, just like with asphalt, like you slid your face against the concrete, you would just see your bones.
Describe it as, and
you really think he lived? Dude, like, people live scalpings. Like, that's why I don't know how bad the impact was. You wouldn't die from that. It would be really painful. In, like, olden times, yeah, you would get infected and die later. It would probably bleed out. But
that's what happened to this man. The fire truck incident. On the 15 freeway in Rancho Cucamonga, California.
Oh, it's deaths.
A routine night drive turned into a deadly inferno, and it all started with a motorcyclist and a semi-truck. The exact reason isn't clear. No one knows if the biker swerved, miscalculated, or just didn't see the truck coming. But what we do know is that he collided with the big rig at freeway speed, which is anywhere from 65 to 85 miles per hour, and the impact was devastating. As if smashing into a semi-truck on a motorcycle isn't already bad enough, the biker would be trapped underneath the vehicle while its diesel leaked out of its fuel tank. And unfortunately for him, the sparks from the accident would light both his motorcycle and the 30,000-pound semi-truck up in a blaze. The truck driver was quick enough to escape, but once again, since the biker was trapped, he was engulfed in what would be known as one of the biggest fires the freeway had seen in years. This fire was so big that it took 3 fire engines to try to control the blaze, and the highway was shut down for hours. When they finally arrived at his body, they immediately called it the sign incident. In Thailand, sometime around 2019, on a highway just outside of Bangkok, where traffic moves fast and helmet laws are, let's say, loosely followed, a guy, Once again, not wearing a helmet, was riding his motorcycle at a high rate of speed, zooming in and out of traffic. While going down the road, his bike would randomly hit a pothole, and his attempt to avoid it would be where things went horribly wrong.
Oh, swerves off. Immediately falls off the motorcycle. He's going to, like, slide and get his head chopped off.
He heavily swerved and got launched off his bike so forcefully that it'd throw him airborne and he'd go flying for a few seconds. Which actually sounds kind of fun.
A few seconds. Bro. 1, 2, 3. You're not in the air that fucking long.
Because bouncing and flying around in a controlled area is usually a fun experience. Whether you've gone bungee jumping, skydiving, or have
He did not have that much airtime.
randomly experienced flying in your dreams, I'd say it's a pretty enjoyable thing. Just not when you go flying headfirst into a road sign, which is what happened to this guy. He was flung so hard at the road sign that it perfectly decapitated his head and left his body continuing on with its momentum. And disturbingly, his head actually hit the sign so hard that it became stuck to it.
Oh my god, bro. See, that's the shit that I'm saying doesn't feel real. Like, imagine you're just a bystander that watched that. Some dude fucking flip off his motorcycle, his head's just stuck to a stop
It
sign.
was so brutal that it even traumatized seasoned first responders.
Oh my god, yeah.
And obviously, sadly, he passed away. The paper incident. In late 2015, a motorcyclist in Shenzhen, or Guangzhou, a busy Chinese city, was on his way to work when he stumbled across heavy traffic and a very large cement mixing truck on the road. As is common in
Stop.
densely populated urban cities, he began lane splitting in between traffic to get through.
I thought he was gonna get fucking, like, sucked into the fucking concrete machine or something.
The cars. Funnily enough, this is actually a good thing for most bikers to do, as lane splitting lessens congested traffic and heavily reduces the risk of motorcycles getting rear-ended by cars that don't see them.
Yeah, I don't think I have a problem with lane splitting if you're doing it safely, but there's like a dickhead way to lane split. You know what I mean? If I'm on the highway and you literally just go, and I'm driving like this and you go and right through me and you're just weaving in and out, like you're a dickhead, right? Like you're asking to get killed. But if you're lane splitting in a manner that's like slow during congested traffic and you're watching which way you need to go, yeah, you're going fucking 30, 40 miles an hour through cars. That's not as bad. When it's like high speed and you're lane splitting just to be a dickhead, you're not like decongesting traffic. You're just trying to be a badass.
So this rider gets a gold star for practicing smart riding. Ironically, however, when the light turned green, he accidentally dropped his bike and fell off of it.
Oh my god, stop.
Right in front of that ginormous cement mixing truck I mentioned earlier. Panic exploded out from bystanders, and they would all try to get the trucker to stop driving, but by the time he had even noticed he rode over anything, it was already too late. All 12 wheels of the 30,000-pound truck trampled over his body. The rider wasn't just crushed, he was effectively flattened into the road's pavement. Witnesses and first responders described his body as being no thicker than a sheet of paper on the road. City sanitation workers and police disturbingly had to resort to using shovels to scrape.
Oh my god! You gotta get like a flathead shovel and scrape his body because it's like stuck in the asphalt. You're doing like get it up and out, dude. Yeah, an 18-wheeler flattens you.
Body off the road and put it into a dustpan. His body was so pulverized
oh my God.
that he couldn't even be put into a casket for burial. I don't really know why you like traumatizing yourself with stories like these, but that's all for now. Have a happy...
That one was bad. What is this? Oh my God, it's a puppy. Emily, thank you for the 3. 2 months ago, my roommate and I were riding skateboards and weren't wearing helmets, and they fell and had to be airlifted to the hospital. They were unconscious for like 20 minutes. I had to hold her head. There was so much blood that my entire leg was covered. The cops thought I also fell. She's fine now, though, other than the tinnitus and Bell's palsy. Wear helmets, kids. That is fucking terrible. I mean, and I'm glad she's okay. Andrew for the 3. Going to Little Italy in San Diego today. You got any Italian I could use? Yeah, when they ask what you want, be like, yeah, I need the fresh mozz. Not mozz. Can I get the mozzarella? Can I get the mozzarella? Like you're a New Jersey Italian. Be like really annoyed too if they ever pronounce it like they're American. It's mozz, not mozz. You got the prosciutto. It's not prosciutto. It's the prosciutto. Like fuck, man. Big for the sub. And, please don't, bro. That's half of my friends that are Italian. Never been to Italy. Their parents, their grandparents are from Italy. I'm like, I'm Italian too. They're like, it's the gabagool, the fresh prosciutto. I'm like, why do you only say those 3 words like that? Do you speak Italian? No. But it's like, I understand that's how you're supposed to say it, but it's like the anger people will have. You're a fake Italian? I'm not claiming to be a real Italian. I'm Italian, but I'm not claiming to be like, I'm not going to walk up to somebody at Applebee's and go, it's mozzarella! It's mozzarella! What are you doing? Oh, Mozz! Oh, it's Mozz! Like that one guy on TikTok that has his fucking hair spiked up. Oh, it pisses me off. Ugh. I'm like, you're screaming at random people that they're saying fucking prosciutto wrong. What are we doing? This is just... Like, I don't understand. And then they don't even speak Italian. I'm like, you're fucking screaming at these people. It's very rare, but there will be, like, New Jersey Italians that get, like, physically angry. I'm like, fuck, man. They're just asking for fucking mozzarella sticks. Bug for the sub, some for the thrive. Sorry for the lower the mood. I'm going to say goodbye to one of my loved ones who could barely even function, never faced death in a family before. Old enough to grasp what it means, also old enough to aspire on the philosophical thoughts, and my mind's a mess. Any advice on coping and moving past this state? It's just time, man. You're mourning. They're still with us, but only a few more days. I think try and come to terms with it, you know, in the present. But, you know, mourning is something that takes, you know, months, years. It might be a lifelong thing, man. It's not hard, or it's not easy losing a loved one. It's very hard to deal with the fact that they're gone. I'm sorry that you're dealing with that, man. Big for the sub. Andrew, thank you for the 3. R6 and Lanes for the sub, grand for the 3. About to race in the New Jersey. You got it delayed 1 hour because the guy going 200 miles an hour head onto a wall. Oh, my God. I am. Thank you for the 3. Play Switch Sports right now. You're my favorite streamer. Thank you. For the 3, any more Mage Arena? Yeah, we're going to do Mage Arena again. I want to do a stream with the guys, though. Maybe this week. I don't really know. Brian Dominic for the sub, Mr. Grimm for the sub, Beaver, and Austin for the sub, Loco for the 5. Or this upcoming week. Today's Sunday this week, then. But yeah, Bug for the sub. Chat, we're going to actually have to fucking save this, Kurt Skazat video. I know it's only, you know, just about a 3-hour stream today, but it was either I didn't go live today or I went really live early, so I'm happy I was even able to get a stream in today. I'm sorry it's ending early, but tomorrow will be a long one, as well as a few days this week. I'll be live tomorrow at regular time instead of early shit, 2 p.m. EST, or regular summer stream schedule. 2 p.m. EST, we're going to be doing random games, maybe more Mage Arena, Slime Rancher for sure. Want to continue making progress in that game. Nightclub Sim, maybe some random Roblox games as well. Some games with chat, potentially. Tuesday, I'll be live at noon doing random games, sim games, horror games, because we have a Hot Tub stream with Chris later that night. Wednesday, horror games at 2. Thursday, I'm going to be live like 10 to 1:30. We're going to be doing reacts, another short react day early as shit, because I have to go commentate a Slap Fight Friday. Not streaming Friday. We'll be back Saturday doing Storytime Gaming and reacts, and then next Sunday will be an early react day as well. Sorry the schedule's so weird. It is the summer, and I got a lot of shit I got to do, a lot of events to be, content to make, so I'm going live early some days, but we'll be back probably after the next week and a half. We'll be back to like 2 p.m. regular schedules, and then we'll be back to our regular like 4:30 EST 2 p.m. weekend. But Arc for the 3, when are you going to hang up your play button? I have no idea. I just don't know where to put it. But yeah, W stream chat. Appreciate y'all. Hope you had fun. I'm going to be uploading on the main and the gaming. Probably not right now. More likely later, because it's only 2 p.m. right now. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for like a 5.5 hour stream. I'm sorry today was only like 3 hours, but still a dub nevertheless. I had a fun time streaming. Hope you guys had a fun time watching. Thank you for that popped out, especially this early. I know I went live early in the day, but yeah. We're going to call that there. Who do we want to fucking raid? I don't know. I never really raided people this early. Who's fucking live right now? Dash's Ducks. Should we raid Dash's Ducks? Are there ducks on Dash's Ducks? Oh my God, there are. We're raiding Dash's Ducks. All right. Tooth for the sub. W stream. Appreciate y'all. And I will see y'all tomorrow, 2 p.m. EST. Be there, be square. Goodbye, chat. See you tomorrow.